Folks, you might have heard the words power law, but not know what they mean. Well, you are going to get ready to learn today. Let's go to the School of Scott.
It's Short King Summer, dude. It just feels like no one in fantasy sports ever learns anything. Does he mistime it, or is Brock Bowers just a grown man? Brock Bowers is just a grown man. Dare I say, Rich, football might be back. In the words of Lane Johnson, this offense looks constipated. It's Short King Summer.
All right, Scott, it's been a long time coming. I'm very grateful to have you here on the program today. We are, 9 days away from the beginning of the National Football League season. The Philadelphia Eagles and the Dallas Cowboys playing like in Venezuela or wherever they are playing to open the season. We are in a Best Ball Mania draft. We are drafting at the 10th slot. How's the offseason treating you, brother? How we doing?
I'm doing good, man. I'm excited to be here. This is our first ever stream.
I think that is correct. I was trying to think if we had ever been on guests on someone else's program before, but I think this might be the first time that we have ever.
No, dude, I don't get invited on any of the cool kid shows that you do. So this is a big moment for me. I'm really pleased to be here. It's an honor. Thank you for the invite that I had to beg for.
No, that certainly is not the case. I'm a big fan of the fantasy points industrial conglomerate. I think Jake is actually going to come on tomorrow, and I'm a big user of the fantasy points data suite. Really enjoy all that stuff, and look, man, I'm also excited to learn about some power law players.
Dude, what is Neil in this league? And Kanye West?
Neil is player Q is indeed in this, which is funny because I entered this before I started the stream. So he literally just timed this right. So that's quite nice. Where are you liking to draft? If you got to choose your spot in a redraft league this year, where would you like, if you got to choose, what would you do?
I like the end. And I feel like that's the first time I've said that in probably ever. I will, full disclosure, this is an underdog draft. I've only done 2 underdog drafts on my own this year. So I don't have a great read on ADP versus.
That's okay, brother. We are I can be your guardrails for the average draft position. We are here to learn because I have I think 5 of my high stakes drafts left to do. So I'm trying to get some league winners. We are about to be up for the very first pick here. Nico Collins, Neighbors, Puka, BTJ, Genty, A-Chain. You tell me your favorite.
I would probably go Puka personally.
All right.
I think it might have been tough with Malik, but looks like he just won.
Give me the elevator pitch for Puka Nacua over Nico Collins. Yes.
Yeah. So this is a Chris Weck special. Our projections are who's brilliant, genius, best in the industry, I think. He has Puka wide receiver too. I'm like, if Matthew Stafford retired tomorrow, where would he go? And he'd be like wide receiver 4. Just insane volume, best XFP per route run in fantasy points data history. And you saw what he did with Cooper Kupp there, both top 10 in XFP per game. So Adams can have a healthy workload and Puka can still smash. We're back in the clock. I would go AJ Brown or Achane. I think you can pick between those two. Oh, I like that you put Derrick Henry in the queue.
Well, I know from engaging in your work that you are big on outliers. I mean, that's kind of the whole game that we play here, right? I think there has been this really interesting thing that's happened as best ball and fantasy football has kind of gotten more analytical and more serious in the analysis, which is that you learn that many of these players from a projection perspective don't actually project that well, right? Saquon Barkley last year, fewer expected points than Devin Achane, for example. Derrick Henry only plays, 50% of the snaps, just like not a super involved player in the passing game, relies so much on the touchdowns, but also guys like that, outliers tend to continue to outlie until they don't. But like if Derrick Henry plays 17 games this year, I'm going to guess he probably just smashes whatever his expected fantasy points would be. It'd just be as you get older, you're that big, you're that size, much greater chance of injury as a 31-year-old, 240-pound running back.
So a big thing I've been talking about is I think there's my rankings really don't reflect this, but I think Derrick Henry has the best chance to lead the league in touchdowns this year. I think he has a chance to break the rushing touchdown record. You look at Lamar Jackson's passing touchdowns. Starting in 2020, it was 26, then 16, then 17, and 24, and then 41. I've argued this a few ways. You could look at the data, just, really negative regression candidate Lamar, massively negative regression candidate Saquon, massively positive touchdown regression candidate Derrick Henry. But yeah, you were talking about outliers. And so like predating Upside Wins championships in 2020, I was really early to the scene on XFP. And I remember doing a study into that and on XTD and like looking back over the past decade. And it was like Rob Gronkowski outscored his volume-based touchdown expectation by like 50 touchdowns throughout his career. And Tyreek Hill, same thing. Alvin Kamara, same thing. Derrick Henry, Nick Chubb, pre-injury, same thing. And you just have these guys who are just like damn good at ball, where you kind of have to throw out, the volume you're looking at, or the fact he doesn't catch passes, or maybe even the age, because I feel like freak.
No, I think you can literally, if you are just saying outliers are going to outlie, I think you can literally throw all of that stuff away as it pertains to Henry, which is not to say that I'm doing this personally. Like, I have Derrick Henry ranked after average draft position in every format, half PPR, full PPR, redraft, best ball. I would take Genty over him. I would take Achane over him. A lot of the time would probably take Bowers over him, which is what happened in this draft. Neil took Bowers over Derrick Henry, but that is just one that's pretty easy to see how I'm wrong, right? It's just very easy to see how you lose that wager, right? You don't even have to squint to see it. All right, we are up
half
in
PPR, so
half PPR. It's true. We are up in 2 picks: JSN, Mike Evans, Garrett Wilson, Devontae Adams, Jayden Daniels, Tedderoy McMillan. I have Worthy ranked super high, so you're not going to see that on most people's.
I think he's like the worst pick you could make in drafts right now.
Oh, I think we could talk about that after we make these picks. Give me your guy here.
This is ADP.
This is sorted by ADP.
I mean, I'm fine with any of those wide receivers. I like Jayden Daniels a lot. I think highest end quarterbacks are underrated in this format. He's my overall QB1 this year. And so I was making this case last year that Josh Allen was the most like mispriced player. And then you saw it. It's like through 2 weeks, he scored 100 fantasy points. It was the most by any player at any position all time, 30th most by a quarterback. What if those happened during the tournament weeks? Like, you cannot advance without him.
Can't advance without him. Yeah.
I like Jayden Daniels. I'm not a big stacker, so you're going to have to remind me to take Debo later or Terry McLaurin later.
We're not going to get Terry unless we want to take him right here. And if we want Debo, we'll have to take
I wouldn't take him over Ted, I don't think.
No, I think Ted is the pick here. Right. So let's just do this little bit on Xavier Worthy right here. I think if the only analysis that you're doing, and I'm not saying this is what you are doing, but if it's based off of him not being that productive, not that efficient last season, that's kind of missing the forest for the trees, because super young guys who finish their rookie season at age 21 as first round picks, just by and large tend to get better. And I'm really expecting Worthy, really in the whole offense, actually play better, mostly because of they went from having maybe the worst starting left tackle in football last year to what looks like literally has not played an NFL down yet in Josh Simmons, but looks to at least be baseline competent. Now the floor is yours to fade Xavier Worthy.
I just didn't think he was a great prospect. I think he was pretty terrible last year. I don't think it's a very valuable role. Yeah, I'm not.
It's not a very valuable role if it stays the same that it was last year. If he is effectively Justin Watson, but instead of being Justin Watson, he's Xavier Worthy. It's
Tyquan Thornton.
Fancy Tyquan Thornton. Honestly, maybe a more fair comp would be what Watkins was the year they won the Super Bowl with Watkins, where it was like he was mostly a deep threat, but did some situational end arounds and things like that. My guess would be, knowing Andy Reid and knowing Pat Mahomes, that it's actually going to be more like, what if McCole Hardman was good, or what if Rashee Rice ran a 4.2? That is my guess, because I would also get. I mean, Andy Reid. I don't know if you want to argue him versus Belichick for the greatest coach of all time. I think it's probably pretty close between those two guys. And I would guess that Reid has spent, the last 6 months thinking, all right, well, we spent the first round pick on this guy. Who knows how much Rashee is going to be available? Hollywood Brown is not healthy. We need to be able to do what this kid can do well. That's my guess. I don't know, but that is my guess.
Yeah, I would say listen to the School of Scott podcast. I had Ben Gretsch on, who is for sure pro worthy. Of course he is. He does a podcast with Sean Siegel, who's insanely pro worthy. And I feel like I swayed him a little bit. I also did a 6-minute rant on the Coach Speak Index YouTube, anti-worthy. So if you care, you can check it out. If you don't care, don't worry about it. Yeah.
Link to that in the chat and in the description. If you guys want to check out the School of Scott, it's there. To go click the subscribe button. To which I would say, I think it's honestly same place I ended with Henry. I think there are a lot of data points you can point to in that perspective. Frankly, a lot of it, actually, of my opinion, has to do with just thinking Mahomes is going to play a lot better. Of just thinking this is going to be an offense that probably generates 4,500 passing yards and between 32 and 40 touchdowns. And if that is not your prior, he's just a bad pick.
Did you see so speaking of outliers, do you see my Tyreek tweet where it's the graph where it's like, was Patrick Mahomes a Tyreek merchant? Which, like, I'm sure is not the case. But,
kind of Tyreek Kelsey merchant.
So I hate Zay Flowers, awful pick. RJ Harvey's cool. I
like Harvey here.
Harvey. Can you click on running back?
Yes. Connor is cool too.
Yeah.
Let's do, let's do Connor. We need a little bit of an adult. If we have Achan, we need a smidgen of an adult. So the idea of Mahomes being a Tyreek Kelsey merchant is like pretty. I mean, now Mahomes did win one MVP in a Super Bowl without Tyreek, but we've not seen him at the peak of his powers without Tyreek and with old Kelsey. Like he looked like a much more average quarterback last year. When the weapons were more average.
We've heard this before about the deep passing game rebounding. The bottom line is, since Tyreek left, Patrick Mahomes has 7 deep passing touchdowns. Derek Carr is 27 over the same span. And you saw the exact same thing with Tua and Alex Smith, where it's guys who like suck as deep passers. Tyreek comes.
We're gonna take Debo.
That's fine by me. That's fine by me.
Stack with
I like it.
My draft button is not my draft button just wigged out.
But Alex Smith to no deep passing game whatsoever ever. Tyreek comes best in the league. All of their either passer rating, adjusted net yards per attempt, EPA per play skyrockets. Listen, Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in football, so there's that. But yeah, I think it's a mistake to think he's Tyreek. Maybe even on the Tyreek spectrum, it's just like all-time outliers at the wide receiver position. Tyreek might be the best wide receiver of the past 25 years in terms of how defenses have to game plan against him, account for him, stop him. And like, typically they can't. Deshaun Jackson too is basically just like injury prone Tyreek. And all-time talent, QB elevators, I would say both of them.
Yeah, no, 100% true. So our team that we have now, we have Puka, we have Achan, Jayden Daniels at 34, Teteroy McMillan, James Conner, Deebo Samuel. I mean, honestly, one of the things I've been trying to do as I do all of these drafts is get more of Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, and Jayden Daniels. I think there is a real edge in having that insane ceiling at quarterback. Also, Jayden Daniels, it's kind of been memory wiped because it's the thing that happens when you get done with the fantasy football season is you kind of remember, you forget the little beats of what happened. You just go look at the numbers and you're like, I have no idea why that happened. But that like 5-game stretch where Jayden Daniels had just hurt his ribs after he only had the one drive in that game and then Mariota came in, his rushing attempts were way down. And I don't remember what interceded. I don't remember if they had a bye week or if they just decided he was healthy or whatever. But that actually like kind of artificially deflated how many fantasy points he scored last year. I actually totally agree with the idea of him being the number one fantasy quarterback for the primary. Well, one of the primary reasons being Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson have already won their MVPs, so there's no stat grubbing, which is, I mean, something we definitely have seen with Mahomes, and I think we will see with Lamar and Allen this year. I think there's gonna be some games that are not close that we see a lot fewer points scored from those guys because they've accomplished the individual accomplishments that they would like to have done. Whereas Jayden Daniels is very much still on that please give me an MVP setting of his career.
Yeah, it wasn't just week 7 where he played 10 snaps, but it was also that Eagles game. He had an open wound to his throwing hand that had to get super glued closed. And if you just take those 2 games out, he was basically fantasy QB1. And I like Debo because, McLaurin's missed all this time. So plenty of rapport building, chemistry building. And then this role is probably like perfect for him. The Cliff Kingsbury, Rondale Moore role is just Rondale kind of sucked. If you gave Rondale Debo's typical yak, that's like a top 12 wide receiver by fantasy points per game. I don't think he's going to do that, but just paired up with.
I mean, is there any more horizontal player of all time
right.
than Deebo Samuel? It's an unbelievably perfect fit with that offense. All right, we're up in 1 pick. We probably need a wide receiver here. Jennings, Shakir, Downs. Jennings would definitely be the one by my ranking, although I could be wrong about this with his calf injury. Could take Caleb Johnson or Jaylen Warren. Do you have a lean here?
I like Downs personally, but I'm cool with Juwan if you feel strongly about it.
There's a chance we get Downs coming around. So let's do Jennings. So that gives us 4 wide receivers. Honestly, normally like a better running back set than I normally would have. What about Jaylen Warren versus Caleb Johnson? Which side are you on there?
How many tight ends are off the board already?
It would be Hawkinson. Yes, they are. They are blue. Hawkinson, and I think, frankly,
I'd rather wait on a Loveland. I think.
Yep, I agree.
Where are you at on Njoku? Because I
like Njoku a lot.
Same, but Fannin scares the crap out of me.
I think they basically play different positions. Let's do give me Shakir.
They're competing for the same types of targets.
Shakir,
I'd rather have Higgins than Shakir.
Okay. Yeah, I like Jayden Higgins. Yeah. Actually, let's do Pittman because I've drafted a lot of Higgins. I'm not certain that he's better.
Oh, do I get $500,000 if you win the grand prize?
More. Yeah, you get you'll get $1 million after taxes.
Wow, that's incredible.
So after I withdraw, yes, you will be getting.
Well, you blew it with this Pittman pick, but we were close.
I did. I don't know. It's like that's one where I've been on Downs. Like my Downs over Pittman is probably like 2-1. So if you draft 2,000 fantasy teams in the course of an off season, some things you're going to feel confident enough about. Like I feel confident enough to be, buy Shell Tootin 3-1, 4-1 over ETN, but I don't feel that confident with Downs and Pittman.
Got it. Yeah, there was that back injury. Where would you take
the crazy? That's the thing. Is like, well, is he bad or did he just play with a broken back?
Right. Pittman, Warren, Downs. Where would you take them if Andrew Luck announced he was coming out of retirement today?
I would take Downs where you take JSN, probably right about there. And I'd probably take Pittman where Jerry Jeudy goes. And I'd probably take Tyler Warren where Laporta goes. I have like a smidgen of concern about Tyler Warren because Tyler Warren was Brenton Strange, Pat Freiermuth, and Theo Johnson's backup for 4 years at Penn State.
Yeah, but he played quarterback all throughout high school, and I think even as like a freshman, I think he was still like 4th string quarterback or something. I don't know. He just had like arguably the best tight end season in college football history. It was like 400 more yards from scrimmage than Bowers ever had, and he had nearly a record. So I don't know. I like the player a lot. It's just they have 4 awesome wide receivers and a great tight end and shitty quarterbacks. But
what about a much more realistic one? Where would we draft them if Flacco was the quarterback? I mean, high.
I'm excited about Flacco in Cleveland. Like I think he's a great fit for that offense. Wasn't the same Flacco magic last year with Indy. But clearly Downs was the best beneficiary on those horizontal routes. Flacco really excels targeting those. Cup just went off the board. That's been like, if I were an underdog drafter, that's like one of my favorite gross players at cost. Is just go ahead.
Well, I can't take him over some of the other gross guys there. Rashid Shaheed, I really like.
Well, yeah, for sure.
I'm a huge Shaheed guy. But then also a guy that I can't have him over is Luther Burden, who has a much more difficult path to get. I knew you weren't going to like Luther Burden.
No, I'm all in on Burden. He's an Exodia.
Wow, I would not have predicted that.
It's league specific. Has to be a deep bench league. You have to be patient. But I hated the prospect. It's just like, I really think there's something to this slot role in this offense that I think he's gonna have the Amon-Ra season, rookie season, where nothing first half goes crazy second half.
I couldn't agree more. God, this is a miserable freaking spot. Do you want to just take Burden?
Shaheed's awesome. Mooney's awesome. Burden's awesome. Drake May is awesome. Colston Loveland's awesome. This is a great spot.
Oh, shit. I didn't get it in. No, dude, I honestly didn't even see that Loveland was there. That was who I wanted. I'm super big on Burden and Loveland as those secondary Chicago Bears guys. I know obviously there's a chance that this is like an all-time franchise burning season. Ben Johnson doesn't coach for 4 years. Caleb Williams is in NFL Europe. Luther Burden retires I know it can all go so wrong, but it can also go so freaking right for the Chicago Bears. I'm super enthused about it. We got to take a puke running back here, or Tucker Kraft, or David Njoku. So you tell me.
That's a good question. I'm really cool with all three. Basil Tootin you could add to the queue, or Ramondre if you just need gross points.
No, we're gonna do it. We have Achane, we have Connor, we have our starting running backs. That is close to the minimum pick for me on Tootin, but the closer we get to the season and the more the drumbeat is they're trying to trade one of Etienne or Bigsby, to me that points out they think Tootin's pretty good. They're like, all right, dude, get this guy the ball.
Dude, Etienne is just watched. Tootin was an awesome prospect. He's gonna smash. How many drafts have you done?
I mean, legitimately, probably 2,000. Honestly.
How are you doing with closing line value? Is this a good year for? Because I'm guessing Puka jumped a lot, Bill jumped a lot, Pearsall jumped a lot, right?
Well, we can look at my most drafted players. I'm gonna guess, honestly, it's probably 6 of one, half dozen of the other. Which, if you do enough drafts, it's gonna go that way. So Jayden Blue has honestly kind of been at this price. Worthy has kind of been at this price. Hampton, CLV, Tootin, a lot of CLV. Gurendo's dead. Bowers is about fine. Golden, huge CLV. Pacheco, big CLV. Bigsby, a lot of CLV, and Pickens, a lot of CLV. So I would say pretty good overall. I wouldn't say I have the greatest I felt a lot better about my portfolio last year. Which did not include any Saquon Barkley, Derrick Henry, Alvin Kamara, so it didn't end up being any good. But yeah, Golden, I would say is probably the biggest win, because when the contest opened, he was going after pick 100 and was just so obviously gonna rise.
Right. How are you with mixing up exposures? What's your lowest exposure on a round 1-2 guy? What's your
round 1 and 2? I'm trying to have 8%, which is exactly even with the field on everyone. I think Henry is the one that I don't, because if you look at drafts, he ends up going back to back with Bowers all the time. And
so he is going to set the touchdown record.
He is going to set the touchdown record. Yeah. And Brock Bowers is going to have a high ankle sprain in week 3 or whatever. It seems likely. We still do not have a tight end. We got Ferguson. We have Goddard.
Wait, we don't have a single tight end?
We don't have a single tight end. We missed
Ferguson's
out.
great. I think Ferguson's an awesome, floor tight end one.
I agree, and that is some Week 17 correlation as well with the Commanders. I think Ferguson is like obviously not very good, like not a target earner at all. But he's like,
I disagree. I think the head coach is obsessed with him, and I think there's some redundancy to Pickens and Lamb. They're both man beaters, single high beaters. I think we could see Ferguson as the zone beater. So like select matchups could provide some weak upside. Obviously, clearly the number 3, but yeah, check out the Coach Speak Discord. The head coach is obsessed with Jake Ferguson. Just sign him to a massive deal, hypes him up constantly. Dak loves targeting tight ends.
Big fan of the Coach Speak index, and
Likewise.
he was on the show yesterday. Could take any of these tight ends: Pitts, Goddard, Kincaid.
I think Goddard's good for the spike week format. Personally,
no, I absolutely agree. I think Goddard is a guy that we have just gotten very bored with over the years. He just is like kind of exactly what he's going to be. He has a ton of contingent value. Yep. If any of the other big guys miss, I mean, yeah, just like so many years in a row of the exact same statistics for Dallas Goedert. His best, he's just between 2 and 5 touchdowns and 400, 800 yards, depending on how many games he plays. I like that move quite a bit when you're a little bit later in the drafts. Ollie Gordon at pick 131. I actually just made a video about Ollie Gordon this morning. Are you buying the former Doak Walker Award winner?
I mean, yeah, he's just clearly the RB2 and the H-Hand cuff. I have good sources in Miami, and they were telling me early on that Jalen Wright, much more of the Raheem Mostert role. They didn't like him last year, but they've impressed him early on in camp, and they have a role in mind for him. And then I got a message like 3 weeks ago where it's like, hey, disregard everything I said about Jalen Wright. Like, he couldn't be any more doghouse. The one thing about Gordon is like he played behind Madison for nearly all of camp. So he was the RB4 and then Madison out for the year. So just no one else. That's a great role, but I don't know how high the team is actually on him.
I mean, Jalen Wright absolutely stinks. Really was not even particularly good at Tennessee. Has the crazy combination of 3rd round pick who was bad when he started, not good in preseason, not good in training camp, now injured. And frankly, I don't know what was going on with 2024 Oklahoma State. They went from winning the Big 12, Doak Walker Award winner for Ollie Gordon. They won 1 conference game last year. You know how hard that is to be Oklahoma State, to have Oklahoma State's recruiting advantages in a Big 12 that doesn't have Texas or Oklahoma anymore, and to win 1 game. I mean, that is like crazy hard to do. Mike Gundy should be embarrassed. But the whole team, I mean, Ollie Gordon was the number 1 overall pick in college football fantasy last year. And I mean, he absolutely stunk, but I'm buying. It's actually one of my biases that I have a hard time getting over. If a guy was good in college for even like a 4-game stretch, I basically never forget it. Just kind of sticks with me.
Are you a big Debbie guy? Is that what it is?
I used to be. It's more, I just play a lot of college football DFS. Okay. I think we just take Bryce here with Tedoroy McMillan, assuming that we don't get snapped off. And I also like to select Jatavian Sanders as well. I think. Go ahead. Did you have something?
No.
Okay. All right. Jatavian Sanders, a guy whose prospect profile, speaking of prospect profiles and being obsessed with them, got better when Jordan Whittington had 2.1 yards per route run as a member of the NFL. I think that means that every player who started for the 2023 Longhorns started in the NFL other than Quinn Ewers. Just pretty crazy.
I was going to say on Ollie Gordon,
mm-hmm.
He was like based on my prospect profile, was like a Chuba Hubbard clone. Like, it wasn't just he went to Oklahoma State. They same exact measurables. And then they both did the same thing where they were like arguably the best running back in football their sophomore season. And then junior year, just like ass, and the team sucked. So I don't know. That was kind of my conclusion. It's just like, he's Chuba Hubbard, whatever you think of Chuba Hubbard, who, isn't a great pass catcher, but is certainly a better runner than he gets credit for.
All right. Brian Robinson Jr. or Will Shipley. for our contingent value running backs here.
I would wait and take Rico Dowdle personally.
We could take Rico here. Actually, there's no reason. There's no reason not to do it. This is like,
so I'll make my pitch, and no one agrees with me. I've been doing a lot of FFPC main events with partners, and I keep making the pitch for Rico Dowdle. No one agrees with me. We know the Dave Canales RB1 role is massively valuable. We know that he says continually over and over again, it is integral to his offense that the running back is a skilled runner and pass catcher. They have to do both. Chuba Hubbard signed that big deal. You know, coach loves Chuba Hubbard, but he is coming off of literally the worst yards per target season since targets became a stat in 1992, the worst of any player over 50 targets in a year. And so you have Rico Dowdle in the preseason playing this passing down usage. And I think Rico Dowdle's an underrated runner too. Like, look at how bad Dallas was without Dak last year. He had 4 100-yard rushing games over his last 6. And so I think there's a chance he could, impress, be more efficient. Chuba picks up like a niggling injury, and Rico Dowdle, wins the job outright. And then, of course, just on an injury alone, could be thrust into that Dave Canales RB1 role. So I made this pitch a number of times for like a round 16 Rico Dowdle. No one wants to buy it. A lot of people are Trevor Etienne truthers. I think
I was going to say,
but
so I actually agree with your analysis to the extent. So I agree it's a really valuable role. I agree Chuba Hubbard is like a brutal pass catcher. I agree there's a reason they went out and got Dowdle. I'm worried for the same reason I'm worried about some other backfields like Woody Marks, like where the indication that you spent this draft capital on the guys, an indication that you value the role and that you also don't feel that good about the veteran you have on the roster doing it. Like Rico Dowdle signed for the same money as Elijah Mitchell, and like Elijah Mitchell, it's 1:28 Central Time right now. He's probably going to get waived in the next 2.5 hours. So I think Rico does probably get the first crack at it. But like the guy that outrushed Rico Dowdle their final year at South Carolina is a regional distribution manager for Coca-Cola. So like I'm not that certain how good Rico Dowdle is. I mean, he might be. I don't know.
I think he's good because, well, one, he's a preseason DFS superstar, but 2, I think Danny Kelly really might be the best running back film evaluator in the industry. And he's been telling me since that draft, this Rico Dowdle guy is really good. And I'm like, I don't believe it. I refuse to believe it. Makes us a bunch of money in preseason DFS. And I'm like, maybe tail end of last year. So I don't know. I guess I'm a Rico Dowdle truther, but largely due to the Danny Kelly influence in my DMs. Shout out Danny Kelly. Britton Strange is solid. What position?
Strange. We should probably just take Ertz. Because we have Ferguson and Goddard. I'll get Ertz or Fannin. I'll give you the choice, Ertz or Fannin.
Yeah, I would probably take Ertz.
I think you're right. That adds on to our stack. So we have 3 tight ends. We have 2 quarterbacks, 4 running backs, 6 wide receivers, 3 tight ends. We're good with 2 quarterbacks here. Our running backs are Achane, James Conner, Bishal Tootin, and Rico Dowdle. So we're definitely taking 6 running backs. I do like Keaton Mitchell. I believe Sean Siegel just said on their most recent show that Keaton Mitchell is the best running back in the NFL, which is always a good bit. Keaton Mitchell or Giddens, I think both of them fulfill the same role here.
Yeah, that's fine.
Let's do
Keaton Mitchell, maybe more likely to just like have a 80-yard rushing touchdown one week.
Yes. Yeah.
Even with Henry healthy, you know what I mean?
Well, yeah. I mean, actually, I was going to say 2 years ago, one of my teams that got to the finals had Eli Mitchell in it, and CMC got, his 20 points or whatever, but the 49ers were up by $1 billion, and Eli Mitchell ended up getting 80 yards and a touch. I just always remember that it being like, you never really know what's going to happen in week 17 because weird stuff like that happens all the time. And Keaton Mitchell, I've been saying this stat because I got some pushback when I started moving Keaton Mitchell really high up my rankings once it just became clear that he was healthy. And Justice Hill, he's been in the NFL since 2019. He's maxed out at 61 rushing yards in a game. Keaton Mitchell had 136 rushing yards in his very first NFL game, which I think is think that's just a nice juxtaposition of the two roles that they're set to fulfill in that offense. I think Keaton Mitchell's really good natural rusher.
A stat I had on Zach Ertz, who is like 47 years old,
younger than Travis Kelce, by the way.
Didn't fade down the stretch. Was actually better in the second half. In his final game of the year, 16 targets, 11 catches, over 100 yards. So shout out to Zach Ertz. Cliff Kingsbury loves him. Valuable role. Stacked quarterback. Let's
party. Another very horizontal player. I mean, Zach Ertz has been setting anti-yak records since he was a young man. Very, very funny, just the way we do this with veteran players. Just at a certain point, we decide they're cooked, and then it's very much an inconvenient truth when they are not cooked. You have an opinion on the Texans backfield with the candidates left standing, Pierce, Chubb, Marks.
Yeah, so I actually have pretty good sources in Houston. That's where I live. And I've been told Nick Chubb is clearly the RB1 for week 1. But he couldn't be any more washed. He looks like garbage. Dameon Pierce looks awesome. He looks racked up. He looks explosive. All these, sort of superlatives you'd expect. Vision is still an issue. And he just missed so much time, but clearly does look like the better back. So might only be a matter of time. I would rather in an underdog, I would rather have Dameon Pierce personally. And a big thing I've always talked about is like, he just wasn't a good fit for the zone scheme. Maybe this new play caller comes in.
No, he had no intelligence for the zone. He never found the right spot. Just the one cut and go was not the way he worked at all. All right. We need one more running back. Can I sell you on Brashard Smith?
You can try.
He's Jerick McKinnon, but 22.
All right, let's do it.
Sean Tucker, Brashard Smith.
I would take Brashard Smith personally.
Okay. Actually, I mean, it is our joint friend Matthew Berry who really got me hip to Sean Tucker this season, just being like, dude, the coaches do not like Rachaad White. Rachaad White stinks. And to be fair, Rachaad White is a classic. I loved Rachaad White when he was a prospect, and then when he became a veteran, I immediately turned on him. All right, give me. I mean, it's got to be Jalen Coker, right? Jalen Coker.
Oh, absolutely. Lane. Yeah, great pick right there. What is with this Davis Maddock lightning rod? Why are you randomly the most polarizing and divisive figure in all of fantasy football? Why is Matthew Berry coming on the School of Scott podcast and saying to never be in a dynasty league with Davis Maddock? Why are people making diss tracks about you, Davis?
It's an interesting question. I think ultimately, at the end of the day, first off, I am just a very outspoken person. I never really apologize for being who I am, and I rub a lot of people the wrong way for that. That's part of it. But I think at the ultimate end of the day, the reason why a lot of people on the internet don't like me is that they view what I do as very easy. They're like, this guy doesn't really know anything. He doesn't really win anything. He just kind of exists, but he gets to do a job I think I would like to do, and I think I would be better at.
I couldn't disagree with those people any more than I do. I think you are the most skilled entertainer. I think you're best in the industry at video, outside of the people who I guess like Matthew Berry, who's on ESPN or wherever he is now. And like in the fantasy industry, you have like two extremes. You have like the Brad Evans entertainer, and then you have the Mike Clay, who's not good at entertainment, but is like elite projections guy. I think you are amazing at entertainment, but you're also a good analyst. Like I really respect you
I'm okay. I would say I've gotten better. I certainly I don't think I'm the GOAT. I have gotten better.
Do you remember when I pulled receipts on you back when I was like a Twitter egg with 500 followers?
I remember the first time we ever argued about something. You're like, the fuck did you ever do? And I was like, David Johnson 101, the year that he won, awesome. the year that he got all those points.
That's a sick trump card. Power law, baby.
That's David Johnson, maybe the original.
But how many tweets have you wasted on Jeff Janis as the?
See, so I would say one of my biggest issues as an analyst is that I fall in love with like these super marginal guys.
That's the thing. That's the whole upside wins championship is like, if your misses are guys you're spending like a round 3 rookie pick on, like it's not a miss. Like that's what you need to do.
Barkley or Jefferson?
Oh shit, we're already in another draft.
We're in another one.
I would take Christian McCaffrey.
Love it. That's the fucking definition of a power law player. So Scott, to peel behind the curtain here, the reason why we are doing this is I have 23 of these drafts left to do. This contest is going to fill on Saturday. So I am behind. I spent the last weekend out in Rhode Island, like just like vacationing and stuff. So I missed 4 days of streams. So we're making up for it right now. All right, this was the last team we drafted. You tell me.
Can you do me a favor? I love when people do this. If you could do this for me, sell your viewers on how this team wins Best Ball Mania.
Oh, this is easy. Jayden Daniels finishes as the quarterback 1. Bryce Young tops 244 passing yards for the first time in his career. Devin Achane leads fantasy football in expected points. James Conner, 4th in the NFL in missed tackles forced last year, stays healthy. Byshell Tootin leads the Jacksonville Jaguars in rushing after week 4. Rico Dowdle takes over as the primary running back because Chuba Hubbard can't play on passing downs. Derrick Henry injures his ankle in week 4, returns in week 10, but never regains his efficiency. Keaton Mitchell leads the NFL in rushing yards over expectation. Brashard Smith matches Jerick McKinnon's receiving work, scores 8 touchdowns in the final 6 weeks of the season. Puka Nacua leads the NFL in targets per route run since he joined the NFL. He just continues that. Tedoroy McMillan scores 10 touchdowns, including 3 in their Week 17 matchup against the Seattle Seahawks. Deebo Samuel scores 4 rushing touchdowns because the team doesn't have a running back. Juwan Jennings actually is not injured. He's totally fine. Leads the San Francisco 49ers in targets per route run. Michael Pittman Jr. just played with a bad back. Luther Burden is Amon-Ra St. Brown. Jalen Coker chips in with 2 long touchdowns for us. And we amalgamate the tight end 4 on aggregate out of Jake Ferguson, Dallas Goedert, and Zach Ertz.
That was so
Easy
good.
game.
That was incredible.
That's easy, brother.
45 seconds of just pure heat.
That is what I'm good at. I said this earlier.
It's not easy. People think it's easy. It's not.
They do think it's easy. Let me tell you one thing, Scott, that people think is easy. They think that just getting on a camera and doing fantasy football analysis is about as easy as it gets. Ladd, Bucky, or T. Higgins, or Trey McBride,
or Jonathan Taylor. Call on this one. I kind of don't feel strongly.
Let's do, you know what, on this one, let's do T. Higgins, because I try not to get overly convinced by preseason stuff too much. Something I did get convinced in the preseason is that the Bengals defense is going to be like the worst thing you've ever seen in your goddamn life, and that they're going to have to score 47 points a game to keep up. I do believe that.
They're talking about him in the power slot role a little bit of like Drake London 2024 usage for T. Higgins. When they were both on the field together, T. Higgins actually had a higher target share than Jamar Chase last year. I always thought he was overrated personally, but I changed my opinion on him after that Steelers game. Joey Porter Jr.
I still think he's overrated, frankly.
Listen to this. Joey Porter Jr., who I think is one of the better cornerbacks in football, certainly shadow cornerbacks. He shadowed T. Higgins, and he nearly set the record for most DPIs in a game. T. Higgins scored like 17 fantasy points. Counting the DPIs, it would have been like 38. And Mike Tomlin was asked after the game what happened there, and he was like, "Hey, when we play Shaq, we're gonna take our fouls." And it's like the reverence he held for T. Higgins.
That's
like,
crazy, actually.
Right?
Yeah.
And so that really changed my opinion on that.
Do you want to do another elite quarterback team, or do you want to take Kyron?
Let's do it.
Let's do Lamar on this one, because that'll actually.
No, I don't like Lamar this year. What about ADP?
Josh?
Yeah. What about ADP? Let's see.
It's Josh.
Yeah, that's it. Or Kittle.
Yeah. Oh man.
PPR format. No,
I know you're like the biggest Kittle guy.
He's like my favorite player in the NFL, so I might be blinded by that, but I love him for fantasy and a half-point PPR.
So this is what I'm worried about with Kittle, is that he's kind of like the Derrick Henry of tight ends, where he's always just like smashed it by efficiency. And I'm worried that as a 31-year-old who like just plays like a Viking in the middle of Ragnarok, who just like smashes his body everywhere, I'm worried that he is more susceptible than the average. And tight ends are actually a more injury prone position than running backs, which you wouldn't think, but is true. That he is more susceptible than the average 30-year-old tight end to an injury.
Well, I have this tweet on Kittle where he's led the position in yards per route run in like 7 of the last 8 seasons. And is Neil in this again, by the way?
Neil is in this again. Jesus. And he also they're upset. They want yes. I don't think maybe he is streaming, but everyone wants to hear why you don't like Lamar.
Okay, so real quick,
Kittle
tweet
first.
on Kittle. I'll put it in chat in a little bit. Led the position yards per route run 6 of the last 7 seasons. So I just listed that. And then I listed all the injuries he's dealt with in all of those seasons. He led the position in yards per route run. It is insane. The dude is always hurt, but always plays through everything at the highest level. The way Shanahan has talked about him is like, hey, if this were a normal player, he'd be on IR. But because George Kittle's Wolverine, he'll probably play 60% of the snaps this week. So that's my counter to that. If it is dude's just fucking awesome.
That is a legitimate. That's a real counter.
With Lamar Jackson, it's really just the touchdown regression thing. On red zone pass attempts, his touchdown rate, JJ Zach Reason's always like unsustainable touchdown rate for quarterbacks. You have to feed it.
Yeah, 6.
Right.
Shit.
So sick.
Shit. That would have been
so sick.
Really good. JMO
Kenneth Walker for me personally, but you can.
No, I'm happy because I don't build any teams like this. I'm such a virgin. I just draft wide receivers. I just do the standard, slappy nonsense. So I'm happy to get some teams with a little bit of a different texture. I would have taken JMO there probably without your input, but I'm happy to get different input.
Yeah, so the Lamar thing again, it's the passing touchdowns, it's the touchdown regression. He converted nearly 50% of his red zone passes into touchdowns. That was more than double, I think, the next closest season ever in fantasy points data history. You look back over the last whatever years, they're typically far more run heavy inside the red zone. Running backs take up a much higher percentage of touchdowns. And like before last year, excluding 2019, Lamar Jackson, I don't think ever finished top 3 in fantasy points per game. So personally, I like Jalen Hurts more. I feel more comfortable in the rushing touchdowns. I like Josh Allen more. I like Jayden Daniels more, but it is a very tight tier of 4 quarterbacks to me.
I have no way of knowing because I'm an idiot if their defense is going to be bad like it was last year. But Lamar Jackson with a bad defense, I think Lamar is. Oh, dude, I think we got to take Sutton here. This is just
that sounds great.
It's a huge ADP value. Lamar Jackson with a bad defense is like, I don't know. The dude could average like 28 fantasy points per game if need be. Because like you go look at a lot of Lamar's best games, and they've been like, oh well, the team was done playing in the third. I'll never forget. He won me a fantasy football. He won me a main event in 2020 or 2021. It was a game against the Rams in week 14, so the league championship week. And we were down 37 points. And we ran out of fab money and we didn't have a kicker. And it was the Monday night game. And he won us our main event in a league where we forgot to pick up a kick. I'll just never forget it. I've always been a big fan. All right. This is Scott's tweet on Lamar. Top red zone passing touchdowns in fantasy points data history, this goes back to what, 2020?
Yeah,
right?
Typo. I said 2025. It was last year, 2024. It's a little like confusing, but if you just scroll down, you can kind of see the impact that this had. JJ always talks about this. It's just a different way of looking at it. And this ties into my conviction for Derrick Henry. You could pull up the other tweet too, the George Kittle one. I think that's a little more interesting.
All right, let's pull this up. Here we go. We've got breaking George Kittle, and by breaking, I mean it's not breaking. I actually agree to a certain extent. I think that honestly, I think Tyreek is actually pretty close to this in terms of being like
scroll down.
easier for me to just zoom out.
Look at all those injuries he played
Look at
through
all
every
those
single
injuries.
year. Like these are injuries that other players would be on IR and miss 6 weeks over. And like that's
It's
just
true. Damn.
freak.
This is
Burrow?
so I was so ready. I was so ready to do the
Yeah,
Burrow thing there.
same.
Give
Although that's
me
early for 2 quarterbacks.
Yeah, it is. Give me a wide receiver here. Any of these guys? It doesn't matter.
Judy. That's a Chris Weck special.
Man,
I mean, just go ahead.
Well, I was just so out on Judy, and I actually just like read some research from Matt Irby this morning that was like super bullish on it. But what does Chris have on Judy?
Well, what's the research? And who's Matt Irby?
Matt Irby is he writes over at legendaryupside.com, and he just did this research actually using some fantasy points data suite stuff on horizontal breaking routes and how that like
hell yeah. Yeah.
What's a Pearsall regression core? I don't know the fuck that is, but basically this like high level, not even high level to someone who knows about math, high level.
How do you spell his last name? If he's using the data suite, I'll give him a follow.
I don't even think I follow him on Twitter. Matirby. But basically Judy and Sutton, it's funny we have them on the same team, are like add like the most fantasy points, most expected fantasy points via horizontal breaking routes in the NFL. Which is
so this is a huge
good
fantasy cheat code that no one has ever picked up on until last year. Is the value of horizontal routes on a fantasy point per route run basis is insane. We're on the clock.
I think this is actually Jayden Reed. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's Shakir.
So I hate both of them. I would take Aaron Jones and feel pretty good about it.
All right, let's do it. Aaron Jones. Again, he did have 1,500 scrimmage yards.
So we can wait. Yeah, and he didn't score a lot of touchdowns. He had the worst touchdown luck of any player in fantasy football last year. So like that's the role he's going to lose to a Jordan Mason, who I don't think is anywhere near as good as Aaron Jones, who ranks 4th all time in yards per carry.
Well, he's definitely not anywhere near as good as Aaron Jones. Jordan Mason. So. I'm just as susceptible to everyone. It's like I hear Aaron Jones is going to be the goal line back. I'm like, yeah, dude, half PPR. You need Jordan Mason, but like Aaron Jones, assuming health, is just much better than Jordan Mason.
What were you talking? Yeah, Jerry Jeudy. That's another Chris Weck special. It's just like a ton of dropbacks for a team that has a shitty defense, and then Joe Flacco being the starting quarterback, I think is huge for him. We can trust him to hit Jerry Jeudy on those horizontal routes. We saw it with Josh Downs last year, what Flacco did for Josh Downs relative to an Anthony Richardson. Underrated player, always smashing an ass. Shout out to average separation score. And so, yeah, I don't have a ton of exposure to him, but I think in this format, I like that pick.
Yeah. Judy is one of those guys also where like if I would have known since May that they're just like, all right, well shit, we're gonna start Flacco. Like knowing that Pickett is not even on the roster now, I'd been like, I don't know, man. I probably would have had Judy like 10 spots higher this entire time. I don't think you can really, even ancient, barely mobile Joe Flacco is like, I don't know, 5 to 8 times better for fantasy for wide receivers than Kenny Pickett. Like Pickett as like the awful combo of being inaccurate and scrambling. Like scrambling is so brutal for these wide receivers who kind of make their hay via volume, which Judy led the entire National Football League in routes last year. Is Flacco going to scramble once? That's a good line. How many will Flacco for every game he starts, will he average fewer than 0.5 scrambles per game? Probably less. I would probably take the under on 0.5 scrambles per game.
I like how you just ignore your comment section completely.
Oh, it's just if they have something interesting to say, I'm happy to engage.
They need to set their game up then. Yeah. Jeez.
Well, the thing is I don't always have guests on. Like I would say it's like 50-50 if it's just me and the guests. And if it's like, I don't get to talk to you that often, so I want to pick your brain. When it's just me and them, we will hang out. Damn, this is a horrible spot. You just want to take Mark Andrews or Hawkinson?
Or
Cooper.
Kelsey. Jeez.
You know what? The man just got engaged to the biggest pop star on earth today, brother. We're taking Travis Kelce.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I don't ignore
the
them.
Swifties.
Yes, that one. I absolutely do not ignore the chat, but it's also I have to think about because like I would say 70% of people probably watch live, but then about 30% of people watch on replay. And the more I'm just responding to things in the chat that they can't see on replay, the worse it is. Like this format is a lot better for someone who's like, oh, it's 7:00 at night. I want to learn what Scott Barrett has to say about fantasy football. Like if it's all me responding to people saying rip Marquez Valdez-Scantling, that is not as good on replay.
Your chat is asking if Mark Hunt is hurt right now. Shout out to the former UFC heavyweight champion.
Shout out. I think he's saying Mark Andrews. I don't think Mark Andrews is hurt.
I read that. I read that is sorry, that was me. I read that is Mark Hunt hurt right now. It's isn't Mark hurt right now. Yeah.
I'm not locked. I'm not locked into cuts though. Over the last 3 hours.
Yeah,
all right, we're back up. I think this is our boy. I think this is Rashid Shaheed all day.
I would be all in on Chris Olave if it weren't for the fact that like I think Shaheed might be better. Like you look at games they both played, it's 2.06 yards per route run for Olave. It's 2.02 for Shaheed, and like over a 2 yards per route run is insane. Like there's no other players who are healthy and in this range with the yards per route run over 2.
Here's one that the chat actually was correct to bring up, which is that Hunter Renfrow got cut by the Carolina Panthers. That actually like does matter to me a little bit because Renfrow was not going to contribute on special teams at all. So if Renfrow did make the team, that meant that they were going to play him.
Do you know his story? He had a colitis. He was
Crohn's disease, right?
So I have Crohn's disease. He has colitis. I wish I had colitis instead of Crohn's because that's the one where nicotine helps you.
Oh,
nicotine is good for colitis. We were just talking before the show. I'm like 120 days nicotine free, and I'm still miserable, and I miss every day nicotine. He was hospitalized twice. He lost a ton of weight, and that old Jacksonville Jaguars quarterback, David something, had Crohn's disease. But yeah, shout out to autoimmune disorder.
David Gerard.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
I mean, shout out to Hunter Renfrow because Renfrow was. I probably have some Hunter Renfrow teams sitting around there.
You know my nickname for him?
Hit me.
I called him the accountant. You want to know why? Because he was always counting up stats for your fantasy. No, because he looks like a fucking accountant.
No, the I mean, you know the Hunter Renfrow grapes picture, right? I mean, that is
the what?
The Hunter Renfrow grapes picture.
No.
Okay. All right. After we make this pick, I think this is. Damn, is it Loveland?
Yeah. Why not?
This is a huge.
Skattebo.
Yeah. Okay. When I told my Discord you were coming on the show, they said you were going to sell me on Skattebo. So hit me. I
fucking love Cam. Week 6, we are all going to be calling him Marshall Chalk. Skattebo.
That's pretty good.
He's going to save our teams. So this is the Exodia I'm giving away because no one. I love Basil Tuden too, by the way. Is no one agrees with me on this, so I have no problem giving it away. I just think this is a really talented running back. My model loved him with a really valuable skill set for fantasy. I think Brian Dable loves him. I think Tyrone Tracy's in the doghouse because he doesn't run the plays as they're designed. He drops passes. He fumbles the ball, is in the doghouse. Coach Speak Index is the one guy with me. He was like, at a bare minimum, he's getting the goal line work and the targets, which are the valuable, high value money touches. And so I love Skattebo, really one of my guys this year, but no one really agrees with me on it. What do you think?
I mean, I think that very similar to how I feel about Ollie Gordon, that if what I watched him do in college football is what he's allowed to do in the NFL, I think he's just going to be absurdly useful for your fantasy team. It really is just a matter of how much Dable lets him do it. I mean, I think it's gross, but I think we just got to take Evan Ingram here because he's like this is like a huge ADP value here.
Sounds good.
I don't even really like Evan Ingram, but that was a 20 spot. ADP
Tell me
value.
what you think about this take. I said the Ingram role in the offense is like actually, oh my God.
This is the Hunter Renfrow grapes. This is like an all time.
Right. Wait, can you pull up DK Metcalf with his shirt off right next to this?
I'm sure that I can. God. There actually is a photo of them somewhere together. Well, here's the all-time picture. So this guy that you're just looking at and these two guys right here, Hunter Renfrow has more NFL receptions in a season than either two of these young men right here.
Yeah.
More receptions for this
That's
guy
right.
in a single season than these two fellows right here.
Bro, I do so much prospect stuff, and every single time I'm like, we've never seen a wide receiver have a 1,000-yard season with this sort of criteria, ... except for Hunter Renfrow. He just like ruins all of my great tweets as like the one outlier. We were just talking about it. He's a total outlier because he looks like my cousin and he's a 1,000-yard receiver with colitis.
He's a real outlier. I mean, the dude had finished wide receiver 9 in half PPR one season. He really was a problem. He just
the route running is sexy. He routes dudes up. Like it's up there. And it would have to.
I believe he was teammates with T. Higgins and outproduced him. Let me go. I don't want to make things up. So let me go back and actually get the data. But there's some
he
NFL
scored the game-winning touchdown in the national championship.
He sure did.
What a legend.
At the University of Clemson. Their final season at Clemson.
Anyone tells you a wide receiver prospect is unathletic, if they could route dudes up like Hunter Renfrow, doesn't matter.
Yes. Braylon Allen or Jayden Blue?
I would go Braylon between those two options.
All right. I'm a big Jayden Blue guy.
I can't get there.
You just got to close your eyes and just imagine Javonte Williams being prominently involved for a National Football League team. I actually think it's sneaky big for Jayden Blue that Maffa got put on the IR. Like they decided to redshirt Maffa instead of Blue, because they could have really easily IR'd Blue with the bone bruise or whatever, and they chose not to. So I think that's pretty big for him.
I love how Neil's in chat fucking with us, telling us we should take Judkins.
No, I'm not I went through like a 3-day period where I was like, gotta get Judkins. I haven't drafted him this whole time. And then I just like woke up one day and I'm like, I'm not even certain he's better than Dylan Sampson. And I have to pay the tax on him. And it's August 26th and he hasn't signed a contract and he hasn't played.
Yeah, tough scene. I'm kind of mostly avoiding both backfields, Dallas and Cleveland, but I do wonder if that's a mistake. I
think it's a mistake on Jayden Blue. I think
you can take your guy here for sure if you want. Blue was interesting because my model said he sucked because I was using PFF stats, but if I used SIS stats, my model would have said he was elite. So, oh, dude, please tell me you didn't take.
We just needed a wide receiver. It was him or Kyle Williams.
I would rather Kyle. I would rather like a million guys besides Trey.
I don't think.
Dude,
Trey
you just
Harris.
cost me over $1 million.
I just cost you.
You owe me $1 million. Pay up, Davis.
I just cost you. So I actually dead ass do think Keandre Lambert-Smith is probably better than Trey Harris.
So my only best ball take all year was Keenan Allen is the literal best pick you could make in drafts. This was before he signed. But yeah, I think Trey Harris was a bad prospect. I think there's just no role.
What do you make of a wide receiver who has a yards per route run so high that it's fake?
Oh, well, this is the thing. Yeah. So like on the surface level, I'm like, oh, hell yeah. I'm going to love Trey Harris. He set these records. And then you just like dig into it. And it was just like the most fake, schemed up, bullshit.
The most fake numbers I've ever. Where's Jake Benniger is in the chat. Jake, if you're here, I just want you to know that Trey Harris's college stats completely fake. Keandre Lambert-Smith is better than him.
The also like he got hurt and then the backup came in and just like matched Trey Harris's insane efficiency. So I don't know. I wanted to love him and I think that's what makes me like hate him more than I should.
Yeah.
He just disappointed me.
I mean, we just needed a wide receiver there. It could have been Dante Thornton. It could have been Kyle Williams.
$1 million misclick, but
dude, God, can you imagine? I hope I never have to. I hope I never have to go back in time and relive any of these things. It would be sick though, like sick in a bad way, to have a team in the finals and then to know that one of your picks, like literally a 1v1, was like a $950,000 mistake.
I mean, how many people do you know have had that happen to them? Like DFS pros.
Oh, like everyone. And right. Like everyone I know in DFS has had $1 million 1v1. It's pretty bad. I think we got to just take Darnold or Shuck. Which one do you want to set this up for?
Oh, Darnold.
Or not Darnold or Dart rather.
I would go Dart just for the guaranteed points. Like, what if Dable does something stupid? But I do love Dart. I think he's fun.
Shit. Well, I just made a worse click. We just took Wan'Dale Robinson in half.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
That was slow fingers. That was slow fingers. That
this
one
is not a Neil can attest to this. He's my co-host on Outside the Box. This is my least favorite player in all of football. I would rather cut off my hands than win $2 million with Wan'Dale Robinson on my team. If this wins $2 million, I don't want it. You can just have it, because Wan'Dale, I'd be so ashamed to have Wan'Dale Robinson in the screenshot.
All right, you guys heard him. If this wins $1 million, Scott is not interested and he doesn't want it. I actually agree with you.
Is there a bigger 5 condom pick than Wan'Dale Robinson?
So I do actually agree with you. I used to be a big Wan'Dale guy, and then I got my wish on Wan'Dale as a full-time player last year, and that was like a don't be careful what you wish for situation. He's not a good pick.
You know who ranked dead last in EPA per target last year? Wan'Dale Robinson, and he still gave him 140 targets.
Give me a wide receiver that you like. Actually, you know what? I'm just gonna be too tilted if we miss on a quarterback. Darnold or Dart.
Well, we got the stack.
There we go.
I would still go Darnold person. All right, that's fine. Doesn't really
Dart is more fun, and we're good. Yeah. So I just actually
now with the stat I had on Wan'Dale. He led the league in third down targets last year by like 20. And then if you just had the top 50 list of conversions to first downs on third down targets, he was dead last. Dude is just awful. Biggest PPR scam. And it's like, dude, he would be 3K in DFS. We knew he would get 9 targets and he was still unplayable.
But I was going to say, but you don't even really get the PPR scam benefit from him. I really liked Wan'Dale because I loved that he was recruited to the University of Nebraska as a running back at his size. Like that is just like, and he was one of those guys in college who
I loved him. I loved him as a prospect, but since then we found out it's just, oh no, Liam Cohen slot god. And like, that's what it is.
Yeah, no, honestly, incredibly truthful. All right. This is the team we have. We have Josh Allen, Jackson Dart, Christian McCaffrey, Ken Walker, Aaron Jones.
I kind of forgot about Josh Allen when I vetoed Shakir. Maybe that was a mistake.
Honestly, Josh Allen unstacked is totally like he's probably the number one most you can.
That was Neil's best team last year. Was we co-drafted a naked Josh Allen.
There you go. We have both the Giants backup or both the New York backup running backs: T. Sutton, Judy, Shaheed, Trey Harris, Wan'Dale, Kelsey, and Ingram. That is a disgusting wide receiver room. We need some juice here, man. I mean, that's what happens.
Some upside. Yeah. Can you click on ADP and just scroll down? I don't really know who's available on Underdog this slate.
The worst picks imaginable are available.
Right. I like Slayton way more than Wan'Dale. Pierce as a deep threat.
No, Slayton is perfect. That actually totally balances
we got the
out.
Stack. Yeah. Good.
That balances out the sins, right?
Malik Washington's kind of interesting.
Malik Washington is kind of interesting.
Okay, I like it.
My favorite sleeper wide receivers right now, guys you can get late. I mean, A.D. Mitchell, everyone knows. Keandre Lambert-Smith. I do like.
Amari Cooper. Any interest?
That's a pick that I would prefer to make off stream so that no one sees me make it. Like I do those in my own contest, but I would admit to being a little interested in Amari Cooper just amongst friends.
Okay. All right. In secret, in the privacy of our own home. There he goes.
I mean, he's not a good pick, but he might be.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Like, I think you really need the holdout there from Jacoby.
Yes. We're good on 2 tight ends. Yeah. I mean, I think we need AD Mitchell, Jalen Knoll, or KLS or Jalen Lane. Like we need a young guy with some juice. So you tell me which.
Let's go with the ass guy. Let's go with AD Mitchell. You know,
Man.
we keep talking about these Colts receivers with no quarterback, but
what if
they're good at ball? And sometimes that's all you need.
AD Mitchell is one, which is awesome because he very clearly is good at the game. It's really just a matter of how much does he care. I'll never forget. So I get these things. I don't get them secondhand like Scott does. I get these things third hand. So like someone tells someone in fantasy and this person tells me. And it was communicated to me that AD Mitchell at team interviews at the combine was saying things like, I taught George Pickens everything he knows. Like, just like the most arrogant, like this is all beneath me types. And again, like, I'm not reporting this. I don't know if this is true, but it always stuck with me because I thought that was the funniest thing imaginable. And then AD Mitchell cost the Colts a playoff spot by throwing a pick 6 on a reverse play that he should have just gotten sacked on against the Broncos. And then in the post-game press conference, he just laughed about it. He was just like, yeah, crazy play, dude. Who could say whose fault any of that was? But man, he does get open. So you can squint and see it pretty good.
So I do a lot of modeling work with these college prospects. And one of the biggest things that correlates to future fantasy production at the wide receiver position is being an asshole, being a gigantic nutcase.
That's asshole. Almost like a 1-to-1.
Tyreek Hill, Antonio Brown, Deontay Johnson, George Pickens. And so AD Mitchell's got that.
No, I say this, Scott, I say this all the time. I want my wide receiver prospects to believe that they are Randy Moss.
Yeah.
All right. You got to give me, you got to reach, you got to reach deep in your bag and give me a sleeper running back. Like the deepest you can imagine getting in your bag here. You don't have to reach that deep.
Miles Sanders.
He went. Oh no, he didn't. He's right here. Yeah. Miles Sanders made the roster today.
Keep scrolling down. There might be a sneaky
Trevor Etienne. We're about to. It's
Marshawn Lloyd. Dude,
God, I think I'd rather take Miles Sanders than Marshawn Lloyd. Right now.
That was my highest owned running back last year in best ball. That sucked.
I mean, can you imagine if the dude stayed healthy?
Hamstrings made of glass. It's just
some guys. Some guys are built different, but they're built different in a bad way.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're built different, but in a way you don't want to be built different. All right.
I gotta run, but you gotta say how this team makes $1 million, and it's gonna be so much tougher than last time.
It is gonna be tougher, but I promise you that I'm gonna be able to do it. Before I do this, so you can get out of here, tell people about Fantasy Points and about if they have a draft this weekend or whatever, what they can go and purchase.
Fantasypoints.com, Fantasy Points data. You can check out my pinned tweet for my draft guide if you want to know all my Exodia plays. We have a YouTube, Fantasy Points YouTube. It's the fastest growing fantasy football YouTube channel, about to hit 20K right now. So
I've been on this channel with Theo Grimminger. It's good. They do good stuff over there. All right. Josh Allen scores 6 rushing touchdowns in the final 3 weeks of the season. Jackson Dart takes over by week 7, has a Bo Nix-esque rushing season. Christian McCaffrey scores the most fantasy points in football. Kenneth Walker actually does roll his ankle, but Zach Charbonnet is the least efficient rusher in the NFL. In his absence, Ken Walker gets his job when he comes back. Aaron Jones duplicates last season. Doesn't even matter that he doesn't score any touchdowns because Cam Skattebo is averaging a touchdown per game as a battering ram for a better than expected Giants team. Braylon Allen is the most efficient rusher in the NFL, so it doesn't matter that Brees is playing on passing downs. Javonte Williams gets cut in week 5. Miles Sanders is the starting running back for the Dallas Cowboys. T. Higgins, clear second fiddle to Jamar Chase, but just happens to score a touchdown per game. Cortland Sutton ran the most horizontal breaking routes in the National Football League last year, just duplicates his stats from last year. Dylan Gabriel takes over in week 8, but he's 5'9", 170 pounds, so he's on the season-ending IR the week after. Joe Flacco starts the money weeks for the Browns. Rashid Shaheed has more fantasy points in one game than Chris Olave does in his entire career. That's actually true. Go look it up. Higher scoring game for Shaheed. He's the wide receiver 1 for the Saints. Trey Harris doesn't have fake yards per route run. Wandale converts to third down back and has a Jerick McKinnon-esque final run to the season. Darius Slayton scores an 87-yard receiving touchdown a la Mario Manningham against the Las Vegas Raiders in Week 17. A.D. Mitchell starts from Week 1 over Alec Pierce. Travis Kelce just got engaged to the biggest celebrity in the world. He's buoyed by this, ends his career with 100 receptions and a 10-touchdown season. And Evan Ingram sucks and actually doesn't contribute to this team. But other than that...
I love it. All right.
Beautiful.
I take it back. If we win, we're splitting it, even with Wandale on it. So
you love to see it. All right, man. Thank you very much for hopping on, and I'll talk to you soon.
All right. See you.
Beautiful. All right. There you go, fellas. That was one Mr. Scott Barrett. I believe that Patrick Kerrane is going to be joining us here very soon on the program. I've got a little bit more time to actually not a little bit. I've got a lot bit more time to sit around and draft. So that is what we're going to do. We're going to keep drafting. How many more do we have? We have, let me move the sidekick here. 23 more Best Ball Mania drafts to do. So we are going to keep doing that. I did see that a number of you guys are actually over in the streets over on Drafters. Looks like we got like 7 more people signed up over on Drafters. Just a reminder that contest is going to overlay there we go. David, I will say that if we get down to 20 BBMs left, we will probably end up doing a Drafters today, but can't say with 100% certainty. It really just depends on how fast or how short any of the draft rooms go. We'll see when Kerrane shows up. I did not set up a specific time with him. I don't think the Jaguars are going to cut Travis Etienne at this stage. That looks pretty unlikely to me. I do think probably what they're trying to do is they are probably trying to trade Travis Etienne or Tank Bigsby. Not sure which one it will be. Wow. Speak of the devil, Patrick Kerrane. Pat is in this draft. So I just sent him the StreamYard link. So whenever Kerrane shows up, he can hop right in. That'll be absolutely perfect. When do the BRs drop? I assume the first run of Battle Royales will be up probably on Monday, I would think. And boy, are we going to be looking forward to that. I mean, how excited are we for the return of Battle Royales? All right, we are drafting. All right, well, this is definitely going to be a little bit of a blind seal draft because we are drafting with Kerrane. Let me close all these other tabs. Don't recognize anyone else in the room. Very, very enjoyable to have one Mr. Scott Barrett on the program. Thought that was pretty enjoyable. No chance will I be maxing. I probably, not only will I not max, I probably won't even play the DraftKings Millie week 1. When one of us wins BBM 6, we give the credit to Davis so we can go back to being the player takes guy. Brother, how much would I love to go back to being the player takes guy? Nothing would bring me more joy than to log into this website every single day and just get nothing but player take after player take after player take. I do have, yes, on DraftKings, I think I have like 10 tickets or whatever to the DK Millie, but just in general for DraftKings DFO, I'm on the clock. A-Chain, that is very easy. Kerrane took Justin Jefferson at 6. Yes, if any of you guys win Best Ball Mania 6, you are all invited to come on to the program. Well, not you all, though, the one person. Not sure if any of you guys missed ADP chasing this morning. Do you guys know what this is? California Golden Seals. You know how cool that is, man? A California Golden Seals jersey. Yes, most of what I play on DraftKings will be this contest size, the large field single entry and 3 max. So between like 1,000 and 2,000 people, single entries. That is where I'll be living. Man, I can't believe. Let's do a quick news highlight catch up here, real quick. Let's go on over to the Underdog tab. God, this is so annoying. I hate how they do this. If you're not signed in on X, the Everything app, they don't let you see all of the tweets. That's very annoying. All right. We've got Efton Chisholm made the Patriots. MVS released by the Seahawks. Taysom Hill starting the season on PUP. Hunter Renfrow released. Rattler named Saints starting quarterback. Nyheim Hines released by the Chargers. Marshawn Lloyd on IR. Foster Moreau, not nothing. Foster Moreau is going to start the season on the PUP list, so that's pretty big for Juwan Johnson. I will probably stream BRs on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, Goulash, I would imagine. All right. So I mentioned on the last show that I mentioned this yesterday, that I've been listening to a lot of Sean Siegel content. I am unreasonably excited about Jaxon Smith-Njigba after talking to Sean. I think that I have been far too light on JSN. Like, for example, JSN is just a better pick than Marvin Harrison Jr. R. Pink is asking if I'm a Roman Wilson guy yet. Brother, you must have not watched the video that was published 20 hours ago. Fantasy football's hidden sleepers for 2025. All right, I guess we're gonna Dipperino slurp on Mike Evans here. So we've got CMC, A-Chain, JSN, Mike Evans. There was a whole Roman Wilson section, brother. The Seagulls and Seals working together in harmony. You do love to see it. Yeah, so basically, I think that I was a little quick to write off what JSN did last year as like fake kind of accumulations. I think he was better than that. I mean, 100 receptions. First off, 100 receptions on 137 targets is pretty impressive. 1,100 yards and 6 touchdowns is like pretty strong. He also like just soaked up volume. This is a good question for Matt. Is JSN a better pick than Davante Adams? And I think it really kind of, I would say it sort of depends on your perspective on like what does better mean. Do I think that like 50% of the time Davante Adams scores more points than JSN? I think that is probably true. But I think if this makes sense, I think that there's a couple more down. Like, I think there is probably a little bit more downside with Davante Adams than JSN, just because of age-related decline that JSN doesn't have. And that is before you even bring in Matt Stafford's back injury. The Matt Stafford back stuff is not good at all. But both of them are good picks, and I don't think you have to pick nits between them. I think they're both quite strong, and I think that you can be happy to take both of them. But I think I would take JSN right now. And we are going to get a chance to take Jalen Waddle or Travis Hunter right here, or Emeka Egbuka, honestly. Yeah, let's do. Actually, like I said, I'm going to take Travis Hunter because I don't love the combination of Jalen Waddle and Devin Achane. I feel like they're sort of competing in the same area of the field. I don't understand the point of the Davante Adams pick. It's definitely not. It's definitely, I don't think it's low ceiling or low floor. I mean, Davante Adams was still an absolute baller last year. Even on that like really brutal Jets team. Davante Adams had like all of his advanced data was really strong. Gets to play a bunch of his games in a dome now. It's got to be wheels up for Brashard Smith. Brashard Smith is all right, now I will take Waddle. I will just get the Dipperino there on Waddle at pick 64. That's crazy. Brashard Smith made the roster. Brashard Smith is looking like the week 1, day 1 third down back. Like, who is going to play third downs for the Chiefs? You think it's going to be Kareem Hunt? I guess Eli Mitchell has not been cut yet, so never say never. If Eli Mitchell doesn't get cut, then I don't know. Yes, of course I needed to tag you this morning with the Brashard Smith news. Well, this actually, okay, so if you think about it, it does make sense. Puka, Adams, and Kerrane all go high, but Stafford's a 15th rounder. How does that work? Either Stafford or Jimmy. It's going to have to be way higher than projections. So it works the same way that, like, do you remember the old Steelers teams where Ben Roethlisberger would go really late, but what was it? Antonio Brown, Juju Smith-Schuster, and Deontay Johnson would all go really high, and then they'd have a tight end drafted as well. It's just a super condensed offense, and there are also ways for Puka, Adams, and Kerrane to score points while Stafford's back injury is working against him. I don't think Stafford is really a target at all in best ball. I think there are too many ways for him not to get there. All right, we've got CMC, Achane, Jaxon Smith-Njigba, Mike Evans, Travis Hunter, Jalen Waddle. Probably going to be it's almost certainly going to be a 3 tight end team. This is true. Adams is the highest scoring week 17 player. That is true. People forget. He's done it he did it with Jared Stidham as his quarterback, brother. This is actually a good Aaron Jones team. The new leg up sim must be pro Aaron Jones as well, because I've noticed him being a little bit higher in some of their stuff over the last couple weeks. I can wait to see how our teams do, because my experience, generally speaking, in fantasy football is that when the games start, that is when you start to get disappointed. Is Pat cooking right now? Kerrane has, Jefferson, A.J. Brown, McBride, Ertz, Devonta Smith. Gets Pollard as his running back 1, and Juwan Jennings. Yeah, he is cooking. We are going to get a little Dipperino here on Jayden Reed, though. Better call Patty Kerrane, bro. It's all accounted for in the Sims, honey. It's all accounted for. I will not be taking Drake May if Kerrane wants him. Kerrane can have him. Well, honestly, that wasn't really a Dipperino on Jayden Reed at all. It's easy to draft Drake May when you're doing it with site credits. Yes, honestly, I will say Zeus 04 is hitting the absolute nail on the head here, which is this is the craziest thing about fantasy football. It's the craziest thing. You do realize when you actually get to setting your lineups and looking at your scores every week that no one matters in fantasy football. Jayden Reed doesn't matter. Josh Downs doesn't matter. Jordan, none of these guys matter. They all don't matter. And there are between 5 to 15 guys who matter in fantasy football in any way, shape, or form. And then you realize that you did not draft enough of any of those 15 guys that do matter. I'm either getting a cold or getting allergies right now, and you hate to see it. Are you saying who the site credit guy was supposed to be in the video, or who the site credit guy is referring to? I think the site credit guy is just supposed to be all the annoying people on Twitter. Like the site credit basement guy is just all the annoying people on the internet. Like all the people who are like, these best ball touts, they're so stupid. Like that's who site credit guy is supposed to be. Andrews goes. Could just take Purdy here. Could just take Shaheed here. Actually, you know what? My tout, Sean Siegel, told me Zach Charbonnet would be a first-round pick if Kenneth Walker were to get injured. And my other tout, Mike Shope, selected Zach Charbonnet in the 7th round of the Kentucky Fantasy Football State Championship. I do need to add to the Sharps bags. Sharps bags are looking just a smidgen light, relatively speaking. So I'm happy to add on to the Zach Charbonnet bags. Have to stack a certain wide receiver. Horton boys, we up. I'm trying to figure out if there's a way I can snipe Kerrane. There isn't really a way that makes sense. Yeah, we just got to take I'll just take Purdy here. Can always do the little back stack with Ayuk. So we are Christian McCaffrey, Devin Achane, Jaxon Smith-Njigba, Mike Evans, Travis Hunter, Jalen Waddle, Aaron Jones, Jayden Reed, Zach Charbonnet, and Brock Purdy. Pretty good team. Man. It's pretty big for Torrey Horton, isn't it? It's pretty big that MVS got cut. Torrey Horton was a really good player at Colorado State. Which of these running backs do you like most for managed leagues? Ollie Gordon, not close. I think Ollie Gordon is one of the best values on the board right now. I think he is an absolute smash. Best running back in college football in 2023. Might start week 1 if Achane is not able to go. For sure the running back too. No, I think Damian Martinez is not going to ruin anyone. Damian Martinez is going to go play in the Canadian Football League, I think. People love Jake Bobo. There's a guy who just comes in this chat every day who's like, yeah, but have you considered how good this situation is for Jake Bobo? All right, what am I going to do here? I don't really want to take another quarterback. Oh, well, Kerrane is going to take Tootin. He can't keep getting away with it. So Kerrane is going to take Bite. Or does he not okay. I was going to say, does he not realize I'm drafting next to him? Because there Tootin goes. I don't really want to take Lawrence either. Does he make... I don't feel like he makes a ton of sense here. Could take Skattebo. There's not really... You know what? I am going to take Skattebo. Scott sold me. No, handcuffs like Giddens are like the most valuable player in redraft. Torrey Horton, look, we love Torrey Horton because we are our best ball disgusting sickos. But Torrey Horton, Jalen Royals, Isaac Tesla, these are the most useless players in the NFL. Or these are the most useless players in redraft fantasy football. They're total roster cloggers. You're never going to start them. It's like honestly one of my biggest issues as a redraft manager is like if I take Torrey Horton, I'm never gonna cut him because I know that he's good. Yeah, that was a cook right there. Push Trevor Lawrence around the corner. We are light on tight end, but that is by design. No, handcuffing your own guys in redraft is way worse than it is in best ball. Blake, I'll give you credit for being pretty sharp, but this is not true because the Seahawks just cut Damian Martinez today for George Holani. Horton will be relevant, but he's going to project for like 7.6 points every week. Torrey Horton is like so far away from being relevant in weekly leagues. Just like it's so far away. All right, we've got CMC, Achane, JSN, Mike Evans, Travis Hunter, Jalen Waddle, Aaron Jones, Jaden Reed, Zach Charbonnet, Brock Purdy, Cam Skattebo, Trevor Lawrence. We could maybe be done at quarterback. I don't know. Is Purdy Lawrence enough? That might be a smidgen short. Just a smidge. I don't know. Maybe it's not. Definitely 3 quarterbacks though. Did you guys ever think my YouTube chat would tell me to stop drafting running backs? I never thought that would be a conversation that I'd be having with Dave. But here you go. I normally do like 20 or 30 managed leagues, kind of depending. I really like this year. Actually, I'll be doing a little bit less managed leagues just because I didn't end up getting that many NFFC ones in. All right, we're up. What do we think? Is there a way? All right, I'm going to take Strange and hope that I get Kyle Pitts coming back around. What a sentence. What are you going to say when Hunter has only 40 catches all year? I'll say he must have gotten injured in week 7, probably. Oh, Blake, Damian Martinez literally got waived today. Am I making that up? I'm pretty sure he got waived today. Damian Martinez. Oh, I spelled it wrong. Yes. Damian Martinez got waived today. All right. Chig, sure. Did I get that in? Nope. Tyler Algier. Whatever, that's fine. I was too busy trying to spell Damian Martinez's name right, and I auto-drafted Tyler Algier. There we go. Done it, running back. I have no idea if he made it to the practice squad or not. All right, now we definitely have to do 3 tight ends. Well, not that we weren't going to do it before. And also, Chigakonkwo is like very much whatever. Who cares? I think we could be done at running back here, guys. My feeling on Houston's backfield is that I like Woody Marks the most. I think Woody Marks is going to be afforded a lot of chances in that backfield. And I think Dameon Pierce is probably bad. And if Dameon Pierce is probably bad, that means that there are a lot of other guys who have opportunities. I guess, Michael, I would say the skin in the game answer is that I've drafted a ton of Woody Marks and not a ton of Dameon Pierce and not a ton of Nick Chubb. Wow, guys, our adversary. Look who it is.
What's up?
The chat was saying that your team is cooking.
That feels good.
It's
I'm
pretty
enjoying this
good.
team.
Yeah, it's pretty good. You got the Eagles triple. I just auto-clicked Tyler Algier instead of Chigakonkwo because I was trying to correct someone saying that Damian Martinez made the Seahawks. He didn't. He got cut. But yeah, other than that, oh, dude, you just got sniped on Isaac Tessel. That stinks.
Yeah, sometimes in a moment like this, just gotta take the guys you want.
Oh no!
Just gotta make sure you get your guys. You don't want to have a team like this doesn't get your guys. Actually, you know what? I'm not gonna take the obvious. I'm gonna follow the news a little. Grab Torrey Horton. MVS getting cut.
Dude, that's like actually massive.
It's legitimately massive.
That's like it's funny because someone was just asking about like redraft stuff, and I'm like, Torrey Horton is the least relevant redraft player of all time. It's like you'd never start Torrey Horton. But in best ball, I'm like, dude, Torrey Horton is gonna score 13 points at least 4 times. You know?
It's so funny because like imagine if you sat down with your home leaguers, your home league buddies, and were like, guys, this dude, he's gonna go in the 18th round. First of all, what is the 18th round? We only go 14 rounds.
Dude, we only go 14 rounds.
Second of all, I could not be more excited for him to score 13 points randomly in a very unpredictable way.
And you know what's extra sick is that some of these people are saying like, oh, I have MVS. I thought I was so smart. MVS is like obviously going to land in a spot where he has at least a minimum of 1 16-point game. You just got to hope it's in the right spot.
Yeah.
Just like so self-evident.
The odds are very high.
You guys want to watch
Come on, dude.
Get shot in real time?
Fucking dick. I do the right thing and take Torrey Horton, and then you fucking snipe me out of spite.
I needed him. My tight ends are Bren Strange.
Where do you get your ideas?
You don't even know
who Carol Fannin was if it wasn't for me.
I would actually like to go back to the shows that we did in February and see who brought up Fannin to who first.
That would be a good question.
That would
That's
be a good
one.
bit. That would be a good bit. Yeah.
It's all right. I'll just take the best running back in football, Davis. Thanks for leaving him for me.
Dude, you know what? And also another thing about me going back to doing the
I don't need Harold Fannin on this team at all, by the way. I've got her McBride, but I still really wanted him.
You still really wanted him? Going back to listening to Sean content has me being like, you know what, Davis, you should just be a player takes drafter.
Yes.
Like you should just be like, dude, who has more fun drafting fantasy football teams than Sean? Does anyone have more fun?
I don't know anyone.
I don't think so.
He seems like he's having a blast.
Yeah. Like
he's letting the takes fly.
Yeah. The idea, I bet if, and I don't even know if he's like doing underdog stuff or not because he's not doing the show with Pete this year. I bet he's drafted so much Tyquan Thornton if he has. Like, I bet, he's going to find a way to get even on Tyquan Thornton.
See, Sean doesn't really get even. Like, he tends to move off of guys. Like, once
he just moves on.
Yeah. And he'll move off of guys that like Ty Chandler had, was a huge stand for him that one year. And then he kind of he flashed a little at the end of that season. I think he had a spike week actually in week 15 of that season.
That sounds right.
And then I was like, oh, Ty Chandler looks like the clear backup. Like, I assume Sean will be back in on him. And he was like, nah, dude, he couldn't pass Alexander Madison. He sucks.
He sucks.
Like, oh, okay. But, I mean, he was right. He does suck.
You mean to tell me that making sure all of your exposures are on a smooth 8.3% isn't a blast? No. Honestly, I've had so little fun in the actual practice of drafting teams. I've had a ton of fun doing shows this offseason. It's been awesome. I've learned a lot as a business person and content, and I feel like I'm good at making thumbnails and all this stuff. But the actual process of drafting teams, awful. Just the most even
what do you think helped your thumbnail game the most? Was it Liam showing you how to do it, or
Honestly, let me play the ultimate comp. You know who it actually was? It was Settlement.
Really? Okay. Nice.
I really studied Settlements, and I talked to him about like his like process of how he does it. But no, I mean, like, just as everything in my life, Cheslium obviously, helped me get there. See, like this, like I want to take Keandre Lambert-Smith, but De'Ami Brown is the responsible selection here, right?
I mean, Brown makes sense here. You need a 7th receiver stacked.
Yeah. Tough.
I feel what you're saying. I mean, I don't always do the responsible move there.
And it's just like, also, I like hate De'Ami Brown, just like the worst. Like,
yeah.
It's everything I hate about fantasy football. Like a guy who just might luck into 19 points, 1 week, but like is not good at all. And I bet
where are you at on the guy that I'm about to take? Where are you at on this gentleman?
So I did this morning with the guys in my Discord. Like we literally had this discourse, and they were like, someone said, I just came back from the future and I found out that Alvin Kamara got traded and the Saints season is totally over. And they just turned the entire operation over to Kendre Miller. And I said, brother, we lived through that. And it was one of the worst experiences of anyone's life. He had 15 touches for 20 yards. We did it. We experienced
this is so bleak.
We experienced
look at this.
He started these games, dude. Kamara was not active. We lived it. We lived it, brother. And
was
no
this
one enjoyed it.
2023? Was that 2023?
No, you memory wiped this, dude.
I memory wiped
happened
this
last year.
But 2023, he was okay. Go to 2023.
I honestly, okay, maybe I memory wiped this. He did in a 14-17 win against the Atlanta Falcons. He generated 13 rushes, 73 yards, 1 catch for 6 yards. Let's really just go through memory lane here. Desmond Ridder and Logan Woodside played at quarterback for the Falcons. Derek Carr threw 4 touchdowns in this game. And he was still out-touched by Jamal Williams, by the way. I mean, did you pass on Brashard Smith to take Kendre Miller?
Yeah.
See that? I wouldn't do.
Okay.
Dude, like we got past the hurdle with Brashard. We needed him to avoid the practice squad. And he did.
He did. Yeah, you're right. All right. I should have taken Brashard.
I just like, it's like, we get these Kerrane. You and I talk about this stuff all the time. We get to these inflection points in the season and we always say like, oh, okay, I'll adjust with the new information. But that requires, like, if that's going to be your strategy, that requires you to act pretty quickly when you get the new information.
I've taken a bunch of Brashard.
Yeah. Well, actually, to your credit, you kept the faith when I lost faith for like a week. And
I eventually lost faith.
Right.
I kept the faith for longer, but then it was one of those things where I started to see stuff that like maybe he really does get cut. And at that point I was like, well, all right, time to take it easy. Time to chill.
Well, I missed that he broke his finger at a certain point.
Right.
Like I just straight up missed that. Like I guess it wasn't like super reported. But really what got me all the way back in was he had that one run where he just looked like Jamal Charles. He bounced off the offensive line and then just turned the corner. And I was like, oh, actually I was right about this guy the entire time. It was a pretty vindicating moment. This is a good question. Scroll down on your exposures until you get to a player you like actually hate.
Well, Miles Sanders is like my most drafted player, so that won't be hard.
You good with Gibbs over Barkley? I'm assuming yes.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, dude. Slappy's totally in charge, by the way. Gibbs going over Barkley is such evidence that the Slappies didn't learn anything. Yeah, we won.
Now, we won by just drafting more than everyone else. It doesn't
just
mean we're
drafting
right.
more.
Yeah.
So it's funny. I mean, I hate Isaac Urendo.
Sanders is pretty far down now. He's not on my top. He's not on my top page. He's below. He's below 20%, and he's below the first screen. I could take a screenshot without seeing Sanders. He made
the roster.
Yeah, he made the roster, but I still don't want him on my first page of my screenshot.
All right, so I don't think Urendo really counts because he got hurt.
Davis, do you want to guess? All right, I'm going to give you.
Okay, there you go. 12.6% Judkins. I hate that. That sucks.
Yeah, I have a bunch of Judkins too.
Sorry, I cut you off.
My top quarterback, my 2 top running backs, my top receiver, and my 2 top tight ends are like incredibly slappy. Do you want to take any guesses? So my top 2 running backs are absolute slapses.
Tootin and for me it would be Blue. Tootin and Henderson.
Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt.
Jesus Christ.
Still, that's slappy as hell.
Your top quarterback is May.
Top receiver?
Luther Burden.
Yeah.
And Travis Hunter.
No, the second receiver is actually Juwan Jennings, so hopefully he signs.
Oh.
Yeah. And then Wandale Robinson and Demario Douglas. So that receivers actually have been not slapping it up quite as hard.
Bucky Chase or Bucky or T?
Bucky.
Bang. RB start, dude. Look how high T we are. And then is your most exposure tight is Brock Bowers your most exposed tight end?
No.
Dude, look at me. In an 8% in an 8.3% year. He's double 8.3% on 12.
Davis, I have 25% Bowers. He's still not my most exposed.
Oh, Jesus Christ, dude. You need Jesus.
You know who is?
It cannot be Fannin. It can't be.
Harold fucking Fannin, brother. 27%. Let's go. COV, baby. Used to be in the 18th. Now he sometimes goes in the 14th.
Oh. Reek or an elite quarterback?
I'd be Reek.
Imagine trying to explain to your mom or to your Kerrane, who is the best man in your wedding?
We eloped it. We didn't do.
That's right. Yeah. I forgot. Okay, who would have been the best man in your wedding?
Probably my
your brother.
Yeah.
Okay, explain.
I've got 2 brothers. Maybe I would have done a co situation.
Imagine explaining Harold Fannin's relationship to your life, to your brothers.
Well, my brother Mike's pretty into fantasy, so I think he kind of
that might be worse. It might be worse if he's into. Is he into best ball though?
He's in a dynasty and not really best ball, but
I was gonna say he would not get Fannin in the way that you get it.
Nah, you'd think he gets it. Like he used to write for Rotoviz.
Okay.
Yeah, he understands.
Okay.
And then my brother Sean is obsessed with Arsenal. So I think I think he would be actually pretty fascinated.
Oh, I was going to say if you were like this is Max Dahlman, but as a tight end, you could get it to him.
Yeah, I think both of them would be. He's a fascinating Harold Fannin's one of those guys who I think is actually it's easy for a non best ball slappy to kind of understand the fascination because he's like the most productive, most efficient guy. But he played at this smaller level. It looks really weird when he runs. It's not like I have to explain that it looks weird. Like I just put on highlights and be like, what do you think of this guy? Looks kind of weird when he runs.
Looks kind of weird when
that's what the NFL thought. But now it seems like maybe he's actually really good. So, I don't think it's actually that one for people to get. It's not hard for people to get their heads around it, I don't think.
Just I don't know. I'm trying to imagine explaining Harold Fannin Jr. to I'm in a fantasy league with just guys who go to my gym. These are not fantasy bros. These are just normal everyday fellas. And I'm imagining trying to explain Harold Fannin Jr. to them.
That
And, like,
would be more difficult. Yeah.
Their eyes are glazing over before I get to the end.
Right. You kind of need someone to care in the first place. Right. But if you were just to sit down your bros and be like, all right, it's time for us to talk about Harold Fannin, I don't know if they'd be that.
Listen to Davis Maddox, baby. Tet. This is Tet all day, right?
Yeah, Tet.
All right. We've got Jahmyr Gibbs, Bucky Irving, Tyreek Hill, and Tedder Royman. That was actually a bit of a gift.
That was a gift.
Over there on that side of the board. All right. How many times in your head in the last 24 hours have you said, I'm just a slappy after baby? It's been stuck in my head.
It hasn't been stuck in my head. That it got the first time because it was floating around. I forget who shared it. What? I don't know. Someone had sent me it. Maybe Sack sent it to me. Like,
well, that's
the video.
That's Sack singing.
That's Sack singing. I've forgotten that. Is it?
I'm fairly certain that is Mr. Sacrilegious singing because the title of the song is Sack and the Seals.
Wow.
So I'm pretty sure Ridley Waddle's
cool. We do the Waddle, the Dolphins double. Hunter would also do that.
Let's do Hunter. I actually hate Tyreek and Waddle together.
Okay.
It's easy to be a slappy drafter when you use site credits. Nobody gives a shit about Addison.
That was my favorite.
That was my favorite too.
I got Addison. No one gives a shit about Addison.
I didn't know he was privately working for a deferred adjudication.
Somehow I missed that was supposed to be Shope. That was Shope?
I think Shope is intended to be the judge. Oh,
that's what I mean.
Sack wrote the song.
Oh, okay.
It's Buck singing, which
Nice,
is even funnier. Okay, that is incredible.
That is good.
Efton Chisholm did make the Patriots. Are you adjusting the rankings?
I'm not, man. I'm not. I don't think like an FFPC 28 round old school best ball drafts. Sure.
I was gonna say he's
Hashtag.
he's lightly clickable in DraftKings. 20 round.
Yeah. Hashtag DK partner. We can do it. Yeah. Say it.
Yeah.
When Kitchen had to fucking talk about the other site. It's like, oh, yeah.
Oh, Zach is saying the judge had nothing to do with Shope. He just
okay. I was like, was that supposed to be Shope? I was like, I missed why that was Shope. I do like it, Zach.
The issue I think that we've reached now is like so much of that, like the material has to be good for Peter to do. Like Pete obviously does great work for the material, but it's kind of on the community to give him things to work with, and the community worked overtime.
The community really, really worked overtime this year. It's true.
Like there were bits that didn't make it in.
Right.
This is
Pollard.
I was gonna say this is podium.
You must have Jennings pretty high in your ranks, right?
I do.
Yeah. Okay.
I do, and I'm not. I refuse to budge.
Tell me, give me some optimism, man, because I have a ton of Jennings. As I mentioned, he's my second highest drafted receiver.
How is this dude possibly going to go on the injured reserve? Kyle Shanahan is such a bullshit artist, dude. I just am so Kyle Shanahan's very existence tilts me. I don't know. Like he can't possibly be injured, dude. Like what is he? Did his leg attach his body or disattach from his body?
No, he's holding in now for sure.
Aaron
I think
Jones, Jacoby Myers. It's probably Jacoby Myers.
Probably Myers.
That's another one that I don't believe. I don't believe for 1 second Jacoby Myers is going to get traded.
Well, the Amari Cooper signing was kind of interesting with that.
It is, but it also could just be like Besh kind of stinks and Tucker kind of stinks, and we actually aren't really. I know you made the point that Thornton and Cooper are not really competing for the same role, but it could just be, dude, we just want to run 12, and I don't know. I'm Pete Carroll, and Amari Cooper scored a bunch of points against me 5 years ago.
Right. Yeah, and although they aren't competing for the same role, they might be competing for targets on the same field, and maybe they feel like they need to have someone who can get open.
Do you think
And
Amari
Thornton's
Cooper is draftable?
I don't.
I took him. I'm like 10 tabling puppies right now on my phone. I took Cooper a couple times this morning, I think.
Yeah, I mean, he looked so washed last year.
So washed.
It's really hard for me to see how.
All right,
this
is a good bit. I don't know the answer. I don't know the answer to this question. I'll look it up right now. So keep in mind that Amari Cooper was like never a full-time player for the Browns last year, so his yards per route run is like super fake. What do we think his yards per route run was? I'm going to guess 1.65.
Last year for the Bills?
Yeah, I don't know it. I'm pulling it up right now.
1.36.
All right, receiving PFF, his yards per route run 1.82.
Damn.
You gotta keep in mind it's fake though. Like
Right.
He was running like 47% of the routes. Yeah, he didn't run any routes for the Bills. His Cleveland sample is like horrible. His yards per route run just for the Browns was 1.08. That was when he was a.
What was his for the season? Am I gonna? Is it 1.36 for the season?
Oh, 1.41 for the season. Sorry, I just
Damn,
ran the
all
Bills numbers. I just checked the Bills numbers. A little bit of a dipperino here on Mayfield. Warren's good here. I actually would take Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt here too.
He's gone.
He's gone. Damn. Bill would have been kind of a bad run out here. What do you want to do?
Probably Mayfield. Slurp that dipperino.
Little dipperino. So this is no one in fantasy.
Slurping the dipperino is like one of the. How did that come into existence?
Well, it's a thing. That's a thing from crypto. Like that's a thing from from Bitcoin, like NFTs and stuff. And I just set it to Shope. I don't know, a month ago or 2 months ago when we were.
So that's an established crypto phrase. Slurping the dipperino.
That's an
Okay.
like you could probably like find like a Slurp that Dipperino T-shirt with like a crypto kitty on it or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
But yeah, that didn't make the video, did it? That didn't make Best Ball Bros.
I don't think it did.
I don't think it did.
Did it? I feel it's crazy that it didn't.
I mean, I've only watched it like 6 times so far, so I don't have it memorized yet. So I think on this team, we should take Andrews.
Sure.
Andrews or Luther Burden.
I'd be down to take Burden.
Trying to slurp that Topperino. Okay, there you go. It did. Oh, yes. Yeah. Patty Kerrane said it. He said, slurp. Okay, he said, slurping that Dipperino, eh? That's right.
There you go.
Right. Man. So a nice thing about taking Burden is that if you play your cards just right on the right side of the board, you can get Burden, Loveland, and Caleb Williams all consecutively. It requires the room to be very cooperative with you, and you need the DJ Moore team to have had another quarterback, but you can push it.
So my last draft. Let's see. My last draft.
The turn drafter.
Because I did the Burden Caleb thing, but I didn't get Loveland.
No, you didn't get Caleb either because 108, 109 did Loveland and Caleb.
What? No. No, last draft I did, I got Caleb, the one we were just in together.
Am I tripping? The last draft we were in together. Oh, yeah, you did. Daily Rojo, Luther Bird, and Caleb Williams. Where did Loveland go? Oh, Loveland went right before.
He went before Burden.
Okay. There we go. I kind of hate these teams where you feel dead at tight end. So maybe we should have just taken Mark Andrews. Like, you're really just trying to hit the perfect parlay of like, yeah, sure. Tucker, Kraft, Harold Fannin, and Zach Ertz are going to be exactly what you need. They're going to score their points in the exact right sequential order of points to amalgamate the tight end 4 or whatever.
That does sound somewhat unlikely, but if it happens, I'm going to make a lot of money.
Right. Well, I mean, you know right now that of the 35 draftable tight ends, there is a perfect combination of 3 shitters who will score their points in such a distribution that they would be like the second best tight end.
Totally.
But you just, I mean, who could possibly know which order that would be
I have,
in?
So my by exposure, my tight ends are Fannin, Bowers, Henry, McBride, Strange, Goddard. He's like the one middle class tight end, and Kincaid, and then Mason Taylor, Cade Otton, George Kittle, Zach Ertz. Those are the tight ends I'm 8% and above on. So it's a bunch of shitters, the 3 elites, and Goddard and Kincaid.
Dipperino with Nix or stack with Caleb Williams.
So we have Nix, and who's the teammate?
No teammate.
New teammate. Let's just grab Williams. For some reason,
it's pretty. To me, that's pretty close. Like a 20 spot dip to just be like, I don't care. I'll take. Troy
it's definitely close
or whatever.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's definitely close, and you can backstack Nix pretty easily.
Troy Franklin, baby, draftable Troy Franklin. There's no chance that's going to go poorly.
Very draft. Reaching for Troy Franklin probably won't be something I regret.
No, like 14th round Troy Franklin is just like so reasonable. I can't think of any reason not to do that.
Well, Davis, I guess you missed that Sean Payton said that he's going to have a big role. Guess that just went right by you. Yeah, let's take Skattebo.
Yeah, Scott kind of just sold me on Skattebo.
Scott Barrett.
Scott Barrett has Scott said he's one of the power law players, but he doesn't even care. I'll say it for free on the stream because no one listens to him about it. Everyone just immediately says that he's wrong. So I was like, she's like, you know what, Scott? I'm with you. I'm down. I'm down for Cam Skattebo.
I've been into Cam Skattebo the whole time. He's a good player.
I actually meant to bring this up. So like I was out on Bryant. When you guys were in on Bryant, I was like, I'm out on Bryant. But now that Vele is gone, I'm in on Bryant. I'm drafting him ahead of ADP now.
I'm in on Bryant to an extent, but he never got the Jack Best, Jalen Noel kind of falling out of the draft treatment.
Yeah, no Dipperino.
There's no he's going to be like 90% drafted. So I like Franklin better now in Best Ball Mania because you're getting that little leverage. Shady always tells me it's not actually leverage. That's the wrong term to use, but whatever.
It's not leverage, and also I like. Oh man, I don't care that much about that, about the ownership stuff. Like I really like at the end of the day, the final is so small. It's just unbelievable.
It's not about the final. It's about the playoff weeks.
Okay.
I
had not thought about that.
Think about going against 16 teams and you get a guy who goes for like 30 points and you're basically, it would be like kind of shocking given the numbers if you weren't the only guy with.
Well, I guess what I'd say is get your favorite of these 3 tight end shitters: Ferguson, Pitts, Goddard.
Probably Goddard. But I don't really care if you have a guy.
I don't really care either. It's like the most like ambivalent spot of all time. So we were actually arguing about this in Discord this morning. We were arguing about Kendre Miller and ownership in Best Ball Mania. And like something I have really learned from digging into the Sims for DFS is just like there just is no replacement for projected points. No amount of leverage, no amount of ownership, nothing replaces projected points. So like if one guy is 20% drafted and one guy's 100% drafted in the 18th round, but the 100% owned guy projects 20% better, you just take the 20% better guy.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. But hang on, let's make a pick and I'll explain what I'm talking about. Let's do Judkins, man.
Yeah. Okay. I just give me the Judkins. I just I change my mind about him every day if he's a good pick or not. Where are you at right now in Judkins?
I want to think about the team that I'm adding him to, and I want to
Sure.
I want some kind of feel like I got a discount a little. I'm not really taking him at ADP. I'm taking him after, but he does not have any charges. There were no charges filed against him. And I understand he's not under contract, but he was a second-round pick. They're waiting until the NFL finishes their investigation and comes to determination if he's going to get a suspension. Well, we know from reading the report where they decided not to file the charges that there's no video evidence that backs up the claim of domestic violence. So there isn't a video coming out. There's not going to be some big thing that, makes this a huge PR disaster for the NFL if they don't suspend him or if they give him a light suspension. He's going to play this year. Like, the NFL is not going to suspend him for the year with no charges, right? And once he's suspended, he's going to sign. I don't know. I mean, it definitely does not feel comfortable to take him, but I'll tell you, how does this go horribly wrong?
I was going to say the most fake thing you're going to get is, Judkins might go back to college. Like, that's fake, dude. That's so fake.
Yeah, I'm trying to think, like, it's January. What did the season look like? Like, what's, I know I'm going to have like some uncomfortable weeks in the meantime until then if I take Judkins. But on this team, we have Pollard, we have Bucky, we have Jahmyr Gibbs.
Yeah,
Skattebo and Judkins are scratch-offs for the end of the year.
By the time Pollard's ankle is totally given up on the year. Although, you know what? Ollie Gordon, I think, is a better pick than Judkins, and that is just on me for not having him high enough in my rankings.
See, I disagree with that.
Okay.
I think Ollie Gordon is, first of all, he wasn't nearly as good of a prospect as Judkins. Second of all, he's behind the Achane. So I think down the stretch, we could be very happy to have Judkins.
You in a Cade Otton.
I also think Tua, I mean, there's a reason he's shown up here. We got him stacked. We got two pieces of the other side of the game.
I think Cade is more important.
All right, we can do Cade.
I'm like a noted Cade Otton hater. I had him ranked like 230th for most of the year. It's just like all breaking for him right now. Like, Trey Palmer got released this morning, and McMillan is out. Like, they're going to be playing some, like, at least one non-target earning wide receiver now. Probably Sterling Shepard, which is pretty big for him. And he does play like 87% of this. He is not a target earner at all, but he does play a lot.
That's true.
Yeah.
No, it's been good. I have a bunch of him in Eliminator.
Yes. Ooh, you look up Eliminator ass pick in the dictionary, and Cade Otton is right there.
I wonder, let me look at my exposure on Eliminator as these comes in.
I don't even, honestly, dude, my exposure in the Eliminator is none of my business. That is between me.
How do we even find Eliminator exposure?
Don't even tell me. I don't even want to know.
It's down at the bottom.
I will find out who I have in the Eliminator when I check the teams that are alive in week 2. Because you just know you've made nothing but like the most disgusting picks for 150 slow drafts in a row. Like unstacked Jared Goff, it's like,
I did one big Eliminator. Cade Otton's on it.
Yeah. Najee activated off the NFI.
Wow.
I frankly file that under I don't care for Hampton. And it makes Najee's a little more 64% Who's the most disgusting player in the Eliminator? Josh Jacobs. I have a lot of in the Eliminator.
All right, Davis. You are going to fucking crack up right now. And I would love for you to guess my top player at each position.
Tua at quarterback.
Yes.
I know because I use the sidekick to do these. Austin Eckler in at running back.
That's a good guess, but no. He's like top 6, but he's not the top.
Judkins maybe in the elim. I know the sidekick stuff was higher.
No, I'm at 16%. You'll see him when he falls, but
running back. Who would be
it's like the most
James
aspect.
Conner. James Conner.
It's that you're on the right track now.
Najee?
Alvin Kamara.
Oh, he is like the eliminator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's the eliminator. All right, wide receiver.
Wandale.
That's a good guess, but it's not him.
Pop Douglas.
Pop Douglas is actually below Wandale.
Pop Douglas is below Wandale.
Darius
Slayton, who we just took. That was top in the sidekick.
Sure.
Ramondre.
You're guessing receivers.
Oh, sorry. Receivers. Who is more eliminator? I'm trying to think of
eliminator. It's very eliminator.
I'm trying to think of guys that come up when I do this that I'm like, I don't want to take this guy. Cooper Kupp.
Michael Pittman.
Michael Pittman. Yes. Okay. I was good. Josh Palmer is another one that I take a lot of in the eliminator.
Yep. Josh Reynolds, I have a bunch of in the eliminator.
Tight end, is it? I get a lot of Dallas Goedert.
It's Harold Fannin.
Oh, goodness gracious!
I can't beat him in every format.
Oh, I don't really know who to take here. We're gonna take AD Mitchell because I just ran out of brain space.
Okay.
AD Mitchell's fine there.
Yeah, he's fine.
Yeah, that was Kerrane. That is quite the list.
What if Harold Fannin's the guy you need?
I said,
of my eliminator picks, it's sort of binary. Either he's like an absolute smash, or he's a bad pick. It's not like he's like particularly backweighted. You also take 3 tight ends a lot in the eliminator. So,
okay, this is the team we have: Baker Mayfield, Caleb Williams, Tua Tagovailoa, Jahmyr Gibbs, Bucky Irving, Tony Pollard, Cam Skattebo, Quinshon Judkins, Tyreek Hill, Tedoroy McMillan, Travis Hunter, Jacoby Myers, Luther Burden, Darius Slayton, AD Mitchell, Dallas Goedert, Kadon. You know what I like about this team? This is a real you never know which side you're slapping from team. Like, dude, we just hit him with a Jacoby Myers, and then we brought it back with a Luther Burden. Skattebo.
This is a Travis Hunter, Luther Burden team with Jacoby Myers on it.
With Jacoby Myers. But that also started running back.
Yeah.
You never let him know. Never let him know where you're slapping from. That's the key. That's how you Hayden has actually done this research and has found that Derrick Henry's never on a hero running back team.
Right.
Because no one drafts that way. Or Travis Hunter is on 0 robust running back teams, because
right.
Your robust running back drafters dude, I'm taking Joe Mixon. By the way, year of the internet rumor. Najee Harris's eye actually didn't work. Joe Mixon's foot was actually removed from his body at some point. Both were internet rumors that proved that, which makes me think that the Jags backfield trade is happening because that's been an internet rumor for a month.
Dude, if that happens,
the internet rumor.
That would be so huge.
Yeah. All right, Kerrane, give me your grossest or your favorite, really whatever you want, round 18 pick for this team. We have a 3-5-7-2.
Honestly, it's Jawan Johnson.
I was going to say the sidekick wants us to take a tight end. I'm trying to see.
Yeah, we only have 2 tight. We've Goddard and Otten. I think we should take a tight end.
Yeah, Foster Moreau starting the year on PUP, which is actually, if you have Jawan Johnson and the Elam, pretty good.
Yeah.
Forgot the famous Hayden Winks case study. Never let him know where you're slapping from. What about Jatavian Sanders versus Juwan Johnson? You like Juwan Johnson more?
I do like Juwan Johnson more. It sounds like he kind of has like a full-time role there. And it's a new offensive coordinator, like, wouldn't be crazy.
All right. We have got Baker Mayfield, Caleb Williams, Tua Tagovailoa, Jahmyr Gibbs, Bucky Irving, Tony Pollard, Cam Skattebo, Quinshon Judkins, Tyreek Hill, Tedroy McMillan, Travis Hunter, Jacoby Myers, Luther Burden, Darius Slayton, A.D. Mitchell, Dallas Goedert, K-Dot, and Juwan Johnson. Honestly, not my best effort. Not my worst effort. Got a lot riding on Caleb Williams not sucking.
Yeah, we sure do.
Need that to get figured out. I don't know how you figure it out, but yeah, it's not great. What if he's just bad, dude? What if he just is like an all-time like Josh Rosen level bust?
That would be much bigger bust than Josh Rosen. Rosen was like, they had a couple people being like, oh yeah, he's all right. And then, he gets overdrafted like all quarterbacks.
Man, you want to know something that I have recently realized, Pat? I just have not been labeling my teams that I've been drafting with all these people. Like Liam Caleb Johnson argument. Perfect title. So if I get a team in the finals, I'm gonna have to go back and figure out who I drafted it with.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a decent way to handle it, to be honest. You can be real organized like Pete and name them all, which I think once you get to the level that Pete's at where he's actually doing that regularly, then you might as well. But, if you're not doing that, when you get a team to the finals, you'll check when you drafted it and see if you drafted with anybody.
I labeled every big board team. I don't know why I stopped. I don't know.
I think it's because you got to go back in. I wish you could name it if you could name it while if Numi's watching. Can we name while we're doing it? That would be fun.
Yeah. If I could just click this little eye right here and name it while I'm in it, that would be huge.
That'd be sick.
Yeah. Kerrane, what is the NC? Oh, dude, are we gonna get Barkley at 7? Not that McCaffrey's bad. What's the in-season plan at Legendary Upside? Is anything getting added? Steph does the waivers. You do the walkthrough. What else is in season?
We also have the quick slant, which is Matt Irby's previews for the Island games. He's doing that again. We've got. I need to sit down and kind of sketch out exactly what we're going to be doing in terms of
buddy, please don't let me put you on the spot because I still don't know everything that I'm doing in season.
But the big tentpole things are I do a week for people who aren't aware. I do a game by game breakdown of the main slate on Sunday and call the walkthrough and dive deep into a bunch of the advanced stats. I'm planning out a podcast as well on Fridays. The hope is I'm not ready to announce that yet, but pretty excited about potential podcasts that I'll be adding on Fridays that'll be around the walkthrough content as well.
Okay, is it not the one that we were doing last year, or is it the same one? Because he just messaged me about that on Friday. Are you doing that?
I think so, but that's not what I was referring to.
Okay, I'm not doing it if you don't do it, but if you do it, I'll do it.
I was planning to do it.
Okay, all right, then I'll do it.
Okay.
There you go, everyone.
All right, well, that's an announcement.
There you go.
We're doing 4 for 4 pod.
We're going to do the 4 for 4 pod again.
But I'm going to potentially do another pod as well on Friday.
Okay, cool. All right, we got McCaffrey, by the way. Assumed you had no,
that's good.
No pushback there. And we might, dude.
Let's go.
Okay, what's a better start? McCaffrey Bowers or Jefferson Bowers?
Probably Jefferson Bowers.
I think it's Jefferson Bowers, but so with the McCaffrey Bowers, you can get a wide receiver you like in the third, because you like if you like JSN or if you like Marvin Harrison or whatever. Maybe you don't. I don't know.
I mean, I like them okay, but it's just not because with Jefferson Bowers, you can go Jackson. You can go Allen, right? You just have a lot more flexibility, I think.
Sometimes you get Hampton to fall, sometimes you get Kerrane to fall.
Yep.
Did you see this yesterday? The Ringer gave Legendary Upside a shout out. They did. I actually did watch a little bit of this. They did like their office fantasy football league, but they did it as a big giant stream, like a Hollywood level. I mean, not Hollywood level, but the pretty big production.
What was the shout out? I have no idea about this.
I don't know. But
That's
guys,
awesome.
give me the because
send me the yeah, I want to see.
Let me see if I can find the video. It's pretty cool. There you go. I mean, dude, that means that Bill Simmons loosely knows who you are.
He can probably like take a crack at my name. You know what I mean? He's like, this is Pat Keurig guy. Pat Keurig.
Kerrane, I just spent the weekend up in your neck of the woods, Rhode Island.
I love that we have to have the same conversation before and after. You get back from a state, nowhere near where I grew up.
And you know what? My experience of being in Rhode Island was, Kerrane lied. I'm completely in his neck of the woods. I could be in Delaware for lunch if I needed to be.
Come on.
Everything is so insanely close up there.
I guess I'm not. You're right. I mean, I've never lived on the Great Plains, so
yeah.
So
for me to like get to Indianapolis, which is 2 states away, it's like a 4.5 hour drive. To me, I'm like, dude, I could get to Indianapolis to like go play a round of golf or whatever you want to take. Do you want to take Kerrane or any of these wide receivers or Jayden?
You should probably take a receiver, but I'd probably take Garrett Wilson or Tet. We could do Tet and have some fun.
We could take Tet. But yeah, my experience of being in the Northeast is you could just get anywhere like immediately.
I mean, first of all, there's traffic around New York, so you're having to get down past New York to get to Delaware, like New York City.
Okay. So I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
Is there a train that runs between these two locations, between Delaware and
yeah,
York,
you could probably. I don't know what kind of. I guess you're talking Amtrak. You'd have to take the Amtrak. I don't know where in Rhode Island, but yeah, you're talking about an Amtrak, but you could do that. But it's the Amtrak takes so much longer than
Amtrak we have in the Midwest, and it takes forever. Like to get to Amtrak from like St. Louis to Kansas City or St. Louis to Chicago takes forever.
So to drive from Providence, Rhode Island to, I don't know, these are flights somehow.
It's like a 6-hour drive.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is,
but I'm gonna do the train.
Oh, that's gonna be forever. I'm just saying I've done a lot of 6-hour drives in my life. Is all I'm saying.
If you leave right now, it's 5 hours and 12 minutes. So.
5 hours and 12 minutes, dude.
Yeah, not too bad.
I would trade Garrett Wilson and Pacheco for Drake London. I'm a little spooked. I admit to being. Oh damn, we almost got Marvin Harrison Jr.
Garrett Wilson.
See, dude, the reason why you have to always get your guys is because instead of taking Garrett Wilson in the 30s and then Teteroy and McMillan at 42, is we took Tet first and then we got the ADP value on Garrett Wilson. Like there are so many teams with this combination of players, but then selected in the different order.
I know. But I don't know if we get McMillan. I don't know if we get him.
Depends on how depends on how blind the room is.
Yeah. I haven't taken vision tests before.
Have you tried to explain the blind seal thing to any normal person?
If I was going to, I would just show them the ship chasing short. So
Yeah.
I think that sums it up so well.
Yeah. I just I kind of tried to do it to my wife, and I started with okay, so the people who Peter, right? So the people who watch me and Peter and Pat's videos, they kind of think of themselves as slappies. And it's okay, well,
if you have to
slappy?
start with Peter, right? You're dead. There's no way you get from. So there's this guy Pete Overzet to them being.
She knows Peter. She does.
Okay.
She's aware because Peter was invited to her wedding. Didn't come because he had to be Mike Zakarian's best man, but knows Peter and knows Soccer Dave. Soccer Dave was at our wedding, so she gets some of the loose bits, but couldn't quite get she saw the blind seal, Peter in the seal mask with the walking stick, and just I got nothing for you there. You're just not going to get there. What can you do? It's a strange. Little did Jacob know that little bit of trivia was going to be a transcendental piece of sharing.
Seriously, man.
I don't think I knew that we were living through history as he announced that. Are you not spooked on Garrett Wilson? I'm spooked on Garrett Wilson, Pat.
What are you spooked about?
Fields. Now here's the Breece Hall buy wall. Are we going to believe enough to take him right here?
Yeah. Are we on the clock?
8 seconds.
See, I honestly, when I'm drafting in something like this, I try to distract myself. I'm not even this is crazy. This is crazy. We're getting 4th round Garrett Wilson and 5th round Breece Hall because Justin Fields looks bad in practice.
Preseason game. No, I think practice. He was bad in the preseason game.
So what? It's preseason.
To be fair, I think we knew that Justin Fields was a bad quarterback before. We didn't need this.
Justin Fields is not a bad quarterback. Justin Fields is a very inconsistent and incomplete quarterback.
Okay, but how long do we give him that? Because he's 27, I think.
He's not good. I guess you could argue he's bad.
I think Trey Harris is on PUP.
Really?
Sleeper just sent out a notification that Trey Harris is on PUP. I see a bunch of people on Twitter getting this notification, but obviously no official tweet yet. But it might be because I'm sure Sleeper just gets it from the transaction
list.
Yeah. If Trey Harris is on the PUP, first off, he's undraftable.
It's all just from Sleeper on Twitter.
Yeah, I mean, let's give it 5 minutes. Adam Schefter or someone will tweet. Daniel Proper will tweet. So I guess I should say maybe the better way for me to explain my position is this. Give me a wide receiver here. Anyone you want. I don't know why the sidekick went away. Olave or Diggs.
Look at that. We could do Pollard if you want to do.
Oh shit! I actually would have. Does it ever do that to you randomly? You know what? I think it was because I was tabbing over. Actually, it's not the. It's not. Sometimes it just does that to me randomly. If Trey Harris is on the PUP,
Keandre Lambert-Smith.
I mean, Keandre Lambert-Smith is literally the best pick on the board right now in the 18th round.
He was back at practice the other day. That's crazy if he's on PUP. What would he be in PUP for?
Someone is saying that it's a Najee Harris versus Trey Harris mix-up. I don't know, dude. I mean, okay, hold on. Let's just give the people are asking for something, and I'm going to give it. You want to scroll the F down for Keandre Lambert-Smith.
Oh my fucking
fucking god.
I'm about it. I'm about it.
This is too good.
Someone slap the Keandre Lambert-Smith button. The first KLS reception, I was like, wow, he is the greatest wide receiver of all time. Is the 9th round too early for KLS? People are asking.
4.37 40 played at Auburn. This is Darius Slayton vibes.
My thesis is at least not that he is Jerry Rice's kid. Now, something I got to bring up. Do you think it's a little bit of foreshadowing that the first game Keandre Lambert-Smith ever played was the Hall of Fame game? I don't know, man.
Oh God!
You just got to think about there are patterns in history. There are things that you want to pick up on. You know that the universe gives you.
See, you caught me in a perfect moment there because. Hang on, are we on the clock?
We're about to be. I think it's Reed or Downs or Shakir.
What's the latest with the Reed foot thing? We're just hoping he's good.
Shed's walking boot, not practicing.
Yeah,
that was 12 days ago. I think we're just hoping. I think Shakir is a more adult pick, honestly.
I'm fine with that.
Keon Coleman.
No.
All right, Jayden Reed.
I'm so out on Coleman.
See, Andrew knows. He knows the George Lucas quote. History is like poetry, it rhymes. Just saying, bro.
So I was like, when you in that clip, you mentioned he's got this like 4.3 whatever 40, and I said earlier today that Deontay Thornton had a 4.3 something 40, and I was like, was I thinking of Keandre Lambert-Smith? Like, am I crazy? Did I confuse these two? So I was literally looking up Thornton's 30, which by the way is 4.3 flat. So I wasn't.
Yeah.
I was like making sure I hadn't spread misinformation this morning. And as I was like getting that pulled up, you asked me that question. So I like you got me in just the right headspace where I was only like half paying attention. And then I used my brain, to be like, is it foreshadowing? God damn it, Davis.
God damn it. Yep.
You got me.
I'm very familiar. I'm very familiar with that moment where you're half paying attention, half trying to figure out some data, and then you have to like re-scramble your brain.
Yeah.
In a second, and then you realize what you're responding to, and you're like, shit. All right. Owned.
Yep. Yeah.
I mean, I guess we just like gotta take Fields, because if we don't get Fields, this team is cooked. Is there anyone?
Yes, although there's probably no one worth getting cute.
There's literally no one worth, like, we go look at this team
and like, wow, this team would be cool if you had Fields, but you had to take.
This team would be.
I guess
really
Michael
cool.
Pittman really was a good.
I guess Khalil Shakir really tied the room together.
Yeah, I guess no, you're right. It was probably worth it to add Cooper Kupp in the A's.
Jake is like the biggest Trey Harris guy of all time, and he takes the KLS stuff as a personal affront. I'm sorry, man.
Well, you better take this sleeper notification as an affront.
You better take this sleeper notification as a front. I mean, it really could be like, this literally could be a clerical error.
There's no other like.
There's no other source.
This is it. It's just sleeper just went rogue.
Okay, Jeff Mueller said players can't be placed on PUP right now if they weren't already in PUP prior to camp. Sleeper intern has too many things to do today. There you go. So he's probably fine.
He was dealing with soreness or tightness. This was from 8/21. Trey Harris is working through some tightness. He won't be out there today. from Jim
Yeah, I bet
Harbaugh.
my fucking back would be tight if they signed Keenan Allen and I had to watch Keandre Lambert-Smith at practice every day. I'd be feeling tight too. Imagine you're Trey Harris and every reception you've ever had in your career has just been wide open because Lane Kiffin is a genius and you played with a first-round quarterback. Like, you just the easiest touchdowns of all time. You show up to Chargers training camp and you're like on a cursed burial ground because you're a Charger to begin with. And this guy, this 5th round rookie, just every day you show up training camp and this 5th round is just dunking on you. He like lifts more than you in the weight room. He's like burning all these defensive, and you're just like, shit, I have to try and keep up with this guy. This is what professional football is like. My back would be tight too.
Let's take Dobbins. Do you think Trey Harris is like, he kind of goes over to Ronnie Gadsden and he's like, hey man, like, who's that old guy that's out with watching practice with us? Like, what? He's like, yeah, he's like, he's there in the mornings when I get in. He's always there, just kind of stares at me. He's over there. You see him? I don't know who you're talking about, bro.
It's like, dude, that's Keenan Allen.
He's being haunted by Keenan Allen.
I don't know, man. I just think that like Jacob and other database analysts will make fun of me for getting a little bit too in the weeds with the vibes. I think that the vibes on Trey Harris are not particularly great. And I don't think the data is particularly great on Trey Harris either, because it all starts from a faulty data point, which is like, Kerrane, you've worked a lot with data, and you know that sometimes you'll get a return when you're working with data that is like too good. Mm-hmm. It's like, this can't possibly be true. Like, this data is way too overfit. Trey Harris having 5.7 or whatever the fuck yards per route run is it's so good that it can't be good. Do you know what I mean?
It's definitely yeah, I know what you're saying. To me, it made him very like boom bust, because you're like, if this is real in any way,
yeah,
then it's obviously incredibly bullish that he was able to be this efficient, even though he did it as a 5th-year player. But also, like, it might not mean what it usually means. And this is like kind of the whole reason to be interested.
Slot Demon or Tootin?
Man, I bet we can get Tootin, so I think we take Slot Demon. I hate to pass on Tootin at any point, but
before I forget, everyone wanted to know why you hate Keon Coleman.
Yeah. So I guess free roll the ceiling would be priced at floor. Free roll the ceiling would be.
I don't think he's priced at his floor at all.
I think that's like really, really wrong. Like, I think his floor is that he's like an 18th round pick level, kind of like.
There's no difference between him and Matt Collins.
There's no difference between him and like Michael Wilson, De'Ami Brown, like all these Alec Pierce. Like,
yeah, he's literally Alec Pierce on the Bills.
He's Alec Pierce on the Bills. Like, there's tons and tons and tons of starting wide receivers. Like, Rashad Bateman could lap this dude. Like, there's Romeo Doubs. Like, Romeo Doubs has a higher, like, his floor is below Romeo Doubs. Like, he is not guaranteed to be Romeo Doubs, So, and I guess I'm saying, like, not even like, first percentile. Like, Romeo Doubs is like a reasonable, like, floor outcome. Mm-hmm. I would be happy with that. If you told me floor outcome and it's Romeo Doubs, we're like, oh, sick. That's better than I would have thought.
Yeah.
So that's the part where I'm like, he is just not priced at his floor. Like, he is not. So then, well, now I have to pay for the ceiling. Well, he wasn't very good last year. He was a boom bust prospect as well. A guy who kind of struggled to get separation. They're playing him as this clear-cut X. Matt Harmon's talked about how, like, that's not really what he does well. It would be much smarter to play him in kind of this, where you kind of move him around more like Quentin Johnston. It's kind of the Quentin Johnston thing where he gets pigeonholed as like the outside wide receiver. He sucks at it. They start to like move him around, be a little bit more creative. it's much better. But year 2 for Coleman's just going to be you're glued to the outside. You're like, we don't have Matt Collins anymore, so you just do all the stuff that you were doing plus what Matt Collins was doing last year. There's just not a lot of reason to expect it to go particularly well, other than he's going to be out on the field a lot. But, Khalil Shakir can play. I think Dalton Kincaid is better at earning targets than Keon Coleman. I'll give him that. I'm not a huge Kincaid guy, but I think that's fair to say. What about Stroud? We don't want to do that?
I want to do Geno, I think.
Okay.
And I think this is a 3 quarterback team, and so I want our running backs to be a little bit better.
Okay. So, that's the Coleman thing. He was not good last year, and the situation, I think it looks better in terms of routes. I would also, with the rave reviews thing, what I've seen is that, he's taken a big step. He looks ready for the opportunity and all that stuff. But I hope he has, because he was barely playing down the stretch last year.
He was hurt. I'm actually,
he had a wrist thing. He was hurt with the wrist
Liam,
thing.
I'm going to give Liam this one in absentia. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm not worried about.
Yeah, he had his wrist hurt, so he could only run 17 routes in the conference championship game. That's.
I wonder if the Bills just
maybe he's not very good.
I wonder if they lie about wrist injuries because they also said Amari Cooper had a wrist injury. But I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. Why would Amari Cooper's wrist injury again keep him from running no routes? I don't know. But Keon Coleman is if this makes sense, Keon Coleman is the archetype of guy that beats you when he hits his 80th percentile. But the 50th percentile of Keon Coleman doesn't matter for fantasy because it doesn't come with enough targets.
Yeah.
This is a crazy Dipperino on Ramondre.
Let's take Ramondre.
Feels so good to have no Joe Mixon bags, by the way, just to be
I have some from early Best Ball Mania.
Well, everyone's got some from early, but to have not been stubborn and be yeah, dude, got to take him in on the 90s.
No. Didn't touch him there. Didn't touch him there at all. Feel good about that.
I think to be completely fair to Liam and Leone, the Coleman case is not that dissimilar from the Worthy case. If you're striping out the type of player they are, and you're just looking at okay, this is a 1st-round pick. This was a guy who Keon Coleman was better than Jayden Reed. They had the 1st-round pick and they thought they could get him, so they traded back. I don't know if that does anything to your analysis. They both were really good, really young.
The fact they thought it could get him maybe kind of does do something right now. Why could they get him? Why do they think you could get him?
I think it should be a little bit. I think it should be a little bit of a wind horse that Leone was man, I really hope the Bills take any fucking wide receiver not named Keon Coleman. And then they took Keon Coleman, and he was dude, Keon Coleman, it's fine. It's gonna be fine. It's honestly it is a lot like Worthy. Other than that, I just don't think Keon Coleman is any good. Just from watching him play, and I'm pretty sure Worthy is good. But other than that,
so Keon Coleman, just to give people an idea of where Keon Coleman for me comes out prospect wise in the same tier as Jaden Higgins, Trey Harris from this year's class, ahead of Kyle Williams, but not by a lot. He's just ahead of Xavier Legette from last year's class. I had him below Ladd McConkey, Pearsall, A.D. Mitchell. So, a prospect that was not bad, but you're kind of all right, would love to see you do some stuff in your rookie year. And his efficiency wasn't terrible. It was 1.55 yards per out run, but he didn't run a ton of routes at close, didn't run a ton of routes overall. Bryce Young's cool. And then, he's in this role that doesn't really, it doesn't suit him. Everything about the prospect, you're this dude could really struggle to earn targets because it doesn't really generate separation. But if he's used creatively, he could be really fun because he's good after the catch. And that's well, let's stick him on the outside and have him beat one-on-one, coverage and press and use him as this big field stretching X type dude. Okay, well, that's going to not go well, clearly. So, it didn't. And then they're going to do it again. So I don't know. I guess I'm to me, I'm he's priced close to his ceiling and his floor is in the 18th round. Like I would say that would make the exact opposite argument of the comment. Like I think we would be so like really, really excited if he puts up Josh Downs level production, Jayden Reed level production. Like that would be a huge
I mean,
smash.
he will absolutely not earn targets to that degree.
No, he won't. So he's one of my biggest fades this year. I think the price is really bad. I think it's really bad on an underdog. If you want him, go to DraftKings. He's cheaper there. Still not a great price.
He's a better scoring fit on underdog because like he's maxed at what, like 72 receptions would be crazy.
Yeah. I mean, so if 72 receptions would be crazy, then like, you want to grab Gino?
Oh yeah, we do need 3 quarterbacks on this team actually. Gino is my most drafted quarterback by a lot. Actually.
I have a lot of Gino. Well,
oh yeah, Kerrane was right about Deontay Johnson. I made him take him in 20th round of a best ball 10 or best ball tournament, and he just immediately got cut.
That's hey man, it's a good hedge, you know. The Fannin bet came through.
Could have taken Jamari Thrash.
The Fannin bet.
Guess route participation for Harold Fannin Jr. week 1.
64%.
Oh my god, dude. If he runs 64% of the routes, you might win $1 million again.
Well, it's 2, but yeah, I agree.
You might win $2 million again. Of all the players you're taking stances on this year, who do you most want to be correct about? Is it Fannin?
Fannin would be extremely fun. I think the responsible financial thing for me to say is probably Tootin. Not because he's like so. Burden, Tootin, and Fannin are the 3 rookies I have, and the 3 players that I have like the most on. But Tootin is the one where like if it hits, it could hit so big. I think even with Burden, it's you know how running back hits can be. You know, it's like
running back hits can just be like cascade. It's just like unbelievable. Yeah. Pick a wide receiver.
Tesla, brother.
Wow, dude, you just love to see it. Mine's definitely Worthy.
Yeah,
it would just be the most fun because like did you read Sean's article about the Chiefs? Have you read it?
No, I've heard it's a big one. So I haven't settled in yet.
You gotta like settle. You gotta have like 45 minutes. Like your kid needs to be asleep. You need to have some time to digest it. Or honestly, maybe don't if you don't want to draft any Chiefs, because like you know how it is. You get you get wrapped up in Sean's enthusiasm.
For sure.
But it just really what it got me thinking is like, man, how fun would it be if Worthy actually is like a Tyreek level influence on the Chiefs offense? Just all and then Mahomes completes that. It was like the ball traveled like 62 yards in the air to Tyquan Thornton. Not good for me, brother. Not good for me.
Just because you're gonna have too much?
Just like week 1 DFS. I thank God they're not on a main slate. Great question.
This is a great question.
So how many Javonte Tootin and how many Tank Bigsby Jayden Blue? Or ETN Blue.
ETN Blue, yeah. Who is he? The least slappy? I don't think you can beat Javonte Tootin because I have as much Tootin as probably anybody, and Jatavion, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, for the stack.
And I have no Javonte, so that's a very, very good one.
That's the Hayden Winks case study. Never let them know which direction they're slapping you from.
Well, you know which direction I'm slapping you from.
I do. This comment from Brett, Brashard Smith looks faster than Worthy. So there's 2 ways you can read that sentence. There's a way you can read it as a right wing slappy, which is that Worthy sucks and that the Chiefs kick returner is fast. Or you can read it as a left wing slappy and you can say, I wonder why that is. I wonder what that tells us about Brashard Smith.
Hey, I'm getting psyched about Brashard. I have 18% Brashard Smith in best ball, so it's not like I haven't taken him, but I'm getting excited. I wish I took him on that team instead of Kendre Miller. That bum.
I mean, honestly, I really should have I've never thought about it this way. Like, isn't Javonte Tootin the logical bet to make early season, late season production? The issue is Javonte. I mean, Gretsch wrote it up better than anyone else I've seen write it up, which is just the Broncos kept giving him snaps, but then refused to give him the ball, which is like such a tell for a running back to like have him on the field and then just be like, we got to do anything other than give this guy the ball. We got to throw the ball to Nate Adkins. We got to have Marvin Mims like running horizontally to get like, we got to do anything to avoid Javonte Williams being the ball carrier.
Yeah, I think the problem with that actually being a pair is that you have to think, as the Tootin drafter, that's how you think. You're like, what's even the point? This guy's not even. We could do Dowdle here for that would be 6 running backs. Yeah,
I like Dowdle. Scott was actually just making the case.
Oh, nice. Okay,
for Dowdle.
I've been taking a lot of him recently. Like he's falling. He's kind of free. I think he's a clear cut number 2. I know ETN's looked pretty good in preseason, but they've been very happy with Dowdle from everything I've heard. So,
do you know how much of a slappy I am? It proves to me that I've still retained my left wing roots, because I'm drafting a little bit of Trevor Etienne.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah,
that's so left wing slap. Like Dowdle is just gonna play over him all year.
That is pretty left wing slappy. That's the one with the Ben's trying to get us on Trevor Etienne, and we can't do it.
We famously spent 37 minutes of a ship chasing episode on Trevor Etienne. I layer in my late season zeros, Tootin and Blue, with early season zeros, Sanderson Ford.
This is what I mean, because the people who think the Javonte is a 0, right?
Yeah,
you love Tootin probably, but then if you think Javonte is like the starting running back for the Dallas Cowboys, let's go. You're Dallas Cowboys, by the way, even though you were born in Iowa, somehow you're a Cowboys fan.
Besh, Tucker, or Cooper?
Cooper
got
done
picked.
With Besh for now.
Okay, all right. Give me another wide receiver quick.
Let's do 80 Mitchell.
They are not my Dallas Cowboys. They were.
Were you born in Iowa? I was just doing some hardo Midwesterner.
No, I was actually born in Montana, and then raised in Kansas.
Okay. Yeah. No, I was picturing a boomer Javonte drafter, who's also a Cowboys fan.
Now Montana is basically Iowa. To you, Montana and Iowa, same thing.
No, Montana and Iowa are very different. Iowa and Nebraska are kind of the same thing.
So what I was doing to you...
Sorry to Iowa and Nebraska, but that would be... If I was going to say 2 states are the same thing, I'd be like, Iowa's basically Nebraska.
I was doing the same thing. I was doing a bit where like I told you Delaware and Rhode Island were the same thing, even though they're like clearly not.
Yeah.
I was doing that. I was reverse doing that. Like any flyover state is the same thing.
No, I know the states. I think I know the states well enough. I've been to both Iowa and Nebraska. I've driven through them.
I was gonna say I've spent a lot of time in both those states.
All
right.
I like to think I know the difference.
Was this team any good? I feel like this team was a lot better. Fields,
yeah,
Bryce,
Montana Ranch,
Gino.
Iowa Farmer. That's Artillery Frost.
That's true. That's true.
San Diego and LA are the same thing. Ducks. They really
That
are.
is not true. That's
not true. Yeah.
I mean, hey man, if we can get 7.2 YPA out of Justin Fields, we're cooking here.
We're cooking. Dude, this is one of my favorite builds right now. You get Wilson, Brees around past where they were going all summer. You stack it up with Fields. You're buying this discount on like, oh no, like the guy who needs his legs, the guy who like often looks like he sucks, but then runs for 60 yards or throws a bomb. That guy's looked inconsistent in camp and like in a super small sample. I wasn't impressed. guess we shouldn't draft his whole team. Like, give me that discount all fucking day. That's exactly what we're not supposed to do for preseason.
And they're also probably going to be will they be the most condensed offense in the NFL?
They're going to be so condensed, man.
I'm trying to think of another team that will have their top 2 players account for the greatest percentage of the team touches.
Well, we don't have Braylon Allen.
Great. I'm
gonna jump before.
I was gonna say I'm gonna do one more.
All right. This is
LegendaryUpside.com.
Later.
All right, boys. We're gonna do one more. Kerrane is hopping out. We have discussed Najee being activated. Shout out to Najee Harris for getting activated, bro. Does it really matter that much? Does him? I don't know. I feel like maybe it makes Najee a little bit more draftable. But I think that's about it. I have 19. Oh shit. St. Brown. I have 19 Best Ball Mania drafts left to go, brother. 19 left. Home League Superflex tonight at the 6 hole. I mean, you know what? How about this? Heel turn, Derrick Henry. You guys never that one is for Pepper Tony right there. I think if in a Superflex league at 6, you were either taking the final guy available of Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Jayden Daniels, or Jalen Hurts, or you're taking Chase. Yeah, I don't know why it does this. I do not know why StreamYard does this. Maybe there's a setting I need to do. I'll see if I can. How do I fix this? Maybe there's a. I never know why. I never know why the usernames show up in a different way. But I'll see if I can fix it. Good times with Mr. Kerrane here on the program. Is it fair to compare the Rachaad White situation to that of Byshell Tootin? I think it's pretty fair. So the issue is I'm not the only one who does shows. There are this is the StreamYard that I do these shows with is shared with the Endgame Syndicate fellas. And so sometimes Adam Scherer or one of the other guys might change a setting. So I probably need to go in and change that setting back. $19 Best Ball Manias left, boys. Thoughts on a 36-hour live stream draft across the country on Amtrak? The internet would not be good enough. Don't think the old internet would be good enough on Amtrak. Trying to see if there's any other big news updates to deal with. Have we gotten anything big? I do think MVS getting waived, Carson Steele getting waived. Robbie Chosen released by the 49ers, so I guess maybe they feel better about Jennings. I think they do. If you guys had to guess, Robbie Chosen being released by the 49ers, that probably makes them feel a little bit better. We did talk about Renfrow getting waived like 3 hours. That was this stream. We did talk this morning. Long time ago with Scott Barrett about Renfrow getting waived. Yeah, I still really like Amari Hampton in redraft. I don't think that Najee Harris really changes the way that we should be thinking about Amari and Hampton, because they were always going to use a second running back for some degree of time. Like Kamani Vidal or Hassan Haskins or Raheem Sanders was going to play a little bit. But I think it does make Najee Harris draftable. Like I've had Najee way below ADP for a huge chunk of the offseason. I'm sure MVS will get scooped by another team. All right. You know what? Let's live a little. Let's take Xavier Worthy. I've got a lot of combinations of this start. Yes, in February, I was one of the few people brave enough to draft Najee Harris. All right. Dude, it's Slap King Summer. Derrick Henry, Trevion Henderson, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Xavier Worthy. What does closing line value matter? What does real-time ADP value matter? It doesn't matter at all. What do I think of Torrey Horton? I mean, I think Torrey Horton is a pretty good pick in Best Ball Mania right now. I think Torrey Horton is going to be a guy who has, I don't know, 3 different games that are like fantasy football relevant. I guess the thing you would have to wonder is Torrey Horton being added to the Seahawks roster as like a deep threat because JSN and Cooper Kupp are unable to do so. So let me pull up Torrey Horton's deep ball data from when he was in college, because I bet this is pretty interesting. Torrey Horton receiving depth. So let's go to his Torrey Horton in 2024 had only 9 targets. I guess he only played like 6 games. So 23% of his targets were deep in 2024. In 2023, 20% on full route volume were downfield, but he only had 5 receptions on those. 2022. And he said, Torrey Horton, by the way, said he was only 70% healthy his final season at college. Torrey Horton 2022 deep data, insanely good. 32 targets, caught 17 of them for 656 yards and 8 touchdowns. I'm absolutely buying the Jaxson Dart hype. Huge fan of Jaxson Dart. I thought Jaxson Dart was good before the NFL draft. Frankly, I'm just not really that comfortable taking Rashid, period. I just, and it's more just it's just fear overall. I'm just terrified of all the outcomes for Rashee Rice. So many of the Rashee Rice outcomes are bad. Yes, there is a lot of historical evidence that CLV has an impact on outcomes in the sense that ADP is a very good predictor of points. So if you go and read Leone's stuff over at ETR, the Best Ball Manifesto, there's like a fair amount of evidence actually that CLV is pretty both real-time CLV, so like in your, or like real-time ADP value in your drafts, and then also closing line value. I do not think that Jakobi Meyers gets traded. I'd be quite surprised. Like I would put it at like a 20% probability that Jakobi Meyers gets traded. All right, let's take James Conner. Let's just let him never know our next move. Trevion Henderson before ADP, but then James Conner. Never let him know your next move. I would rather have Igbuka in redraft because I think you're just going to have a better idea on starting Emeka Igbuka from the jump, Whereas I think week 1, week 2, you might not feel totally comfortable starting Puka. Let's go Rizzy P here. A player that I feel really good about. I have a puppy with, well, I mean, I could say any of my teams with good CLV are not going to win anything, but that's just the way she goes. That is just more about how difficult it is to win, period. Like, turns out that winning best ball is very hard. So we have St. Brown, Henry. So we've got Goff live, Mahomes live at 83, and then Purdy maybe at 107. Wow, Dylan Laube made the team. Shout out to the boy. Shout out to my absolute legend. One Mr. Dylan Laube. What are my biggest exposures to players that didn't make the 53-man? Hopefully don't have any. Who are notable players who got cut? Did any notable fantasy relevant player not make the 53-man roster? Drafts completed. I guess I probably took some Renfro's somewhere. I have one $10 team with Renfro. Damian Martinez. Don't have any Damian Martinez teams. Oh, I do have a couple Deontay Johnson teams. I feel insanely good about Brashard Smith. I'm feeling jacked and jazzed up about Brashard Smith. I'm gonna tell you, that's a guy I feel really bad about. You know what? I have a little bit of MVS. I have a smidgen of Marquez Valdes-Scantling. Jalen Wright is undraftable. If I was doing rankings all the way to I would have Jalen Wright ranked 400th or something. Jalen Wright's career is basically over. I don't really think much of anything about Noah Gray likely getting touchdowns. I don't know. They're right place, right time. If you go back and watch Noah Gray's touchdowns from last year, they are the most right place, right time touchdowns you've ever seen in your life. No amount of individual skill got Noah Gray that touchdown production. All right, what are we going to do next? Dang, did Mahomes go? Mahomes did go. Mahomes went unstacked, uncorrelated. August drafters, brother. You know, it's a poisoned apple. The August drafters. I guess we could take Aaron Jones. Why not just take all the... Well, I don't want to take all the olds on one team. God, this is a brutal spot of the draft. All right, let's take TJ Hawkinson. God, what is that, dude? That is horrible. I mean, what do you even do at that spot of the draft? Do I take another 97-year-old running back? I should have taken Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt there. That's what I should have done. We'll take Michael Pittman. Man. Yeah, all the olds, and I have Pierce, Allworthy, and Henderson. I'm not out on Dobbins. I think Dobbins is fine. I should have taken Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt there. That actually would have been a nice spot to add him in. I have 21% Tyler Lockett vacation drunk drafts. Man, my exposures are definitely going to look a little funky after all these. I'm in 900 slow drafts, and they're all finishing right now, and the Puppy 4 is finishing right now, or I guess is in the lobby right now, and I gotta do all those Puppy 4 drafts. Am I going to be pissed when Rodriguez has 20 touches a game? I mean, I will wager whatever amount of money you would like that Christopher Rodriguez will not be generating 20 touches per game. Did any player in the NFL get 20 touches a game last year? I'm going to guess no. I guess Barkley did, Henry did, and Kerrane did. That's it. No, I am not a St. Louis Blues fan. I'm a Colorado Avalanche fan. 20 rushes is very common. I'm going to guess that it's not, actually. I think you might be thinking of a version of the National Football League that don't exist anymore. We'll go 2024 games with 20 or more carries. Descending rushing attempts, single game matching criteria, 2024 regular season, statistical filters, rushing attempts, 20 or more. Rodriguez forced Wan'Dale to switch to wide receiver. Not exactly. Kind of true. It was more that Wan'Dale was kind of small. So in the whole of the NFL last year, so 32 teams times 18, there were 576 games last season. Or that's not right. You got to divide that by 2, right? So divide that by 2. So there were 288 games in the NFL last year. And 288 games, there were 123 instances of 20 rushes or more in a game. And we'll take Purdy to go with Pearsall. So in less than half the games in the NFL last year, a player received 20 or more rushes. So in my mind, something that happens less than half the time is not common. I wonder if any Commanders player got 20 rushes last year. Do I want to take Goff here? No, I'm going to take Mooney. I'm just like super light on Mooney. Game filter. What do we go? Team. Washington Commanders. Last year, Brian Robinson Jr. had 21 rushes against Arizona and 21 rushes against New Orleans. So maybe Chris Rodriguez gets 1 game of 20 rushes. Oh, guys, I have some big news for you guys here. I have a reload bonus on drafters. 20% match up to a $200 bonus. That's pretty big. They just sent this to me. We have a reload bonus over on drafters. So if you already have an account, 20% match up to a $200 bonus. That's pretty nice. So if you already have an account, that's just going to help you max it up. Shit, I wonder if that works for me. All right, the team as it stands right now: Brock Purdy, Derrick Henry, Trevion Henderson, James Conner, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Xavier Worthy, Ricky Pearsall, Michael Pittman Jr., Darnell Mooney, and TJ Hawkinson. I feel like we're kind of cooking here a little bit. There you go. Reloaded. I mean, that is the most generous reload bonus you are going to get from a best ball site. You're not going to get better than that. Oh, I'm in this fantasy football league with Sammy Reed, and we are on the clock, I believe. Sammy Reed and I are in this league called the Pentathlon. It's a 5-part league where you have it's a Superflex auction, Survivor, Best Ball, picks against the spread, and a DFS contest. Super sick. Do we take Goff? Yeah. Oh yeah. This is Goff all day. That is beautiful. Beautiful stuff right there. All right, what are we going to do here? Judkins? I don't want to take Judkins. We'll take Braylon. Braylon has his whole life ahead of him. Braylon Allen is the perfect player to take when you already have Derrick Henry. We have the oldest running back in the NFL and the youngest NFL. Man, you know what, Will? I would love to do this. I would love to do a pentathlon. How about this? I will commit to doing a pentathlon for the members next year. How about that? I don't have the brain space. I don't have the brain power to do it this year. But we will, I solemnly swear to you guys, that we will do it next year. I think you can take both Hall and Allen, especially if you get a Hall in the 5th. Greminger believes it'll be a Gibbs Montgomery time of workload. The issue is that they will. The issue with that is they're just not going to be near as good. So for a Gibbs Montgomery thing to happen, the offense just has to be awesome, and the offense is very much not going to be awesome. Like, I think, yeah, I was going to say they're going to lose a lot of touchdowns to Fields. That's something you don't get with Goff. Pretty tough, I think. Not to say, I would say I would probably try and avoid it, frankly. Saw Mixon go at 205. I think at 205, it's totally fine. 205. I mean, who's going to score more points, Joe Mixon or Brashard Smith? Probably. I think we know the answer to that question. I just don't think you're going to see him fall there very often. I'm excited to always pick Justin Jefferson to score a TD in my pick'em slips. Yes. Yeah, we are so back. We are so close to pick'em season, bro. Yeah, they're doing the over on the Ship Chasing channel. They're doing the big. There's a specific name for this league they do. I always forget it, but there's a big league that they're doing over on Ship Chasing tonight. I think it's called the Payback Draft or something like that. Cool format. That's what the Alpha Play one is from. All right. St. Brown, Derrick Henry, Xavier Worthy, Trevion Henderson, James Conner, Ricky Pearsall, TJ Hawkinson, Michael Pittman Jr., Brock Purdy, Darnell Mooney, Jared Goff, Braylon Allen. We're probably okay with just 2 quarterbacks on this team, and we might be okay with 2 tight ends on this team, actually, depending on who the second one is. Man, remember when... Oh, I know who I'm going to take next, and I'm going to try not to spoil it. Yeah, I'm going to take Ollie Gordon here. Need to move him up even further in my ranks. Ollie Gordon at 155. Yes, the Gibbs longest rush hire every single week. So good. Yes, I will be maxing over on drafters for sure. It'll be, do I do strange here? I don't really want to. Sure, whatever. I'll do Brenton Strange. Don't feel low degree of I almost just took Isaac Tesla, but what's the point? Ollie Gordon at 155 in this economy. I mean, isn't Ollie Gordon just probably pretty undervalued? Like, what do you think Ollie Gordon should project for? Yeah, BBM's for sure closing this weekend. BBM's going to close on Saturday. Maybe before, honestly. Might close before Saturday. I randomly ended up in a drafters vacation. Yes, I was doing a ton of the drafters main event because I was working on my rankings while I was on vacation. And just trying to get as many done as possible. Big payback. Yes, correct. There you go. The big payback draft. Oh my God. Oh, guys, I got some bad news. I just realized I've not made any of my slow draft picks for the entirety of this stream. Oh, I think I'm okay. I've got time left in all of them. I don't know how that worked out, but I'm glad it did. Let me tell you something that's not great. Getting off of a 3-hour, 4-hour stream and then immediately realizing that you have to make 400 slow draft picks. Not the best. I do have Harold Fannin ranked really high on drafters. I think Harold Fannin is a really good drafters pick, actually. I think he's pretty underrated over there. All right, what am I thinking structurally to close this team out? 2 more wide receivers minimum. I'm thinking, damn. I almost just took Tesla over Strange. I guess you just can't have nice things in this economy anymore. That sucks. Tesla was a really good fit for this team. Is there a quarterback? There's not really anyone I want to take. Shit, this sucks. All right, let's take Troy Franklin. Let's do the exact opposite of what I was saying was a good idea to Kerrane earlier. Just chasing the Toporino there on Troy Franklin. Slayton could be an okay pick. Iomanor could be an okay pick. Honestly, might just take De'Ami Brown. Yeah, we're going to do it. We're going to take De'Ami. God, I hate that. That is sickening stuff. All right, final 2 picks. I guess if I'm looking at my draft capital buckets, 2 quarterbacks is fine. I could take a 3rd tight end. I could have taken Fannin, maybe. That's what I'm saying, dude. 4 hours into a stream, 400 slow draft picks, and people think I can't rush for 400 yards versus middle school kids. These kids are cooked, dude. They've got nothing on me. Just passed 8,800 YouTube subscribers today. Shout out to us. That's beautiful. Are we going to get to... That would be so sick to get to 9,000 by the time the season starts. It's probably not going to happen, but it would be sick. Oh, yes. Main event tomorrow with the Crack Rock stream with Kerrane, Peter Overzet, Jacob Sanderson, and Crack Rock. Dynamic Brown, they call him. If you're gonna take Troy Franklin at 179, You should probably just take Isaac Tesla at 158. You live, and you learn. Garden Hood doesn't believe. He doesn't believe. He says 14 under. I have no chance. You haven't seen me in the gym, Garden Hood. I ran a sim and it said you were projected for 373 yards and 7 touchdowns. We're so that I can't. Well, I guess theoretically I could, but I'm not streaming with Liam right now because I start working every day about 7 a.m. Like I go sit down at my desk about 7 a.m., 7:30 a.m. And Liam doesn't get done working at chess school until like 5 p.m. Central Time. Like my brain is just cooked by the time Liam gets off work. What draft, Preston? What am I getting good luck for tomorrow, brother? If you're going to take Troy Franklin at 179, you should probably just buy a Vanguard ETF. Yeah, correct. No golf on vacation. Was more of a family vacation, if you will. All right. I don't want to take A.D. Mitchell again. I got to take someone else. Do we think... Here's the question. Is Trey Harris actually on PUP? Because if Trey Harris is actually on PUP, I do just... All right, you know what? I'm actually just going to take another tight end. I'm going to take Theo Johnson because these tight ends are a little sketch. Are people... I just can never tell if the Jake Bobo thing is a bit or not. It's just impossible for me to say. All right. Final selection of the stream. I know who it's going to be. Oh, no, it's not. That's worse than getting shot. Oh, okay. Worse than getting shot. And you know what? Keandre Lambert-Smith. You want to scroll the F down for Keandre Lambert-Smith?
Oh my fucking god.
I'm about it. I'm about it.
This is too good.
Someone slap the Keandre Lambert-Smith button. The first KLS reception, I was like, wow, he is the greatest wide receiver of all time. Is the 9th round too early for KLS? People are asking.
4.37 40 played at Auburn. This is Darius Slayton vibes.
My thesis is at least not that he is Jerry Rice's kid. I'm just a slappy drafter, baby. Listen to Davis Maddock, baby. All right, boys. The team. Brock Purdy, Jared Goff, Derrick Henry, Trevion Henderson, James Conner, Braylon Allen, Ollie Gordon, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Xavier Worthy, Ricky Pearsall, Michael Pittman Jr., Darnell Mooney, Troy Franklin, De'Ami Brown, Keandre Lambert-Smith, TJ Hawkinson, Brenton Strange, Theo Johnson. I will be back with you fellas tomorrow. We have some cool guests. I believe, well, first off, Dwayne McFarland for sure is on the show tomorrow, and I believe Jake Tribby as well from Fantasy Points will be on. So hope that you guys enjoy that. Please like the stream. Subscribe to the channel for daily fantasy